subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Synopsis. Traveling across the American comics universe, Suka finds himself the first of the 8 evils in Jackie Chan's adventures. Devil of the Moon. Curse Blue. It's the devil who wants to hit the Earth with the moon at every turn. Forget it. The Earth should not be destroyed for the time being. Let's find a place to settle down first. As a demon, Gotham City is very good. As the saying goes, Gotham City is simple and honest, and Arkham is full of talents, etc. My 7 devil brothers are going to mess up again. As the eldest brother, Julan is a headache. Chapter 1: The Psychologist at Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum. The new psychiatrist is introducing himself to the patient in front of him. I come from a nasty place where there's almost nothing. No food, no water, no wine, and no women. Definitely, that's not the worst. The worst thing is I have 7 brothers and sisters, and we're all stuck somewhere together. I've never liked them very much, and sometimes I even wanted to kill them, but it's hard. I was stuck in that place for many years until recently, and to be honest, I love this place. By the way, my name is Suku. You can definitely call me Dr. Sue, because from now on, I will be the psychiatrist here. Today is my first day at work. Please take care of me, Suka said, smiling and reaching out to the patient in front of him. The patient didn't reach out because at the moment, the patient was tied to the chair opposite him, unable to move his entire body. And the reason for this is because this guy stabbed his psychiatrist to death with a pen just yesterday. So for the safety of the new psychiatrist, the prison guards tied him to a chair. Oh, I almost forgot to mention that this patient is none other than the famous villain in the DC universe, Joker. A crazy and charismatic scumbag. Sorry, forgot. You can't shake hands, Suku said with a smile, and then put his hand down. Joker stared at the strange man in front of him, not angry, but looked around with interest, because the introduction just now was really interesting. Then he finally spoke. Listen to you. You seem to come from hell? Joker asked. You guessed right. Suka nodded. Then how did you get out? Joker asked with a smile. How should I say it? It should be a jailbreak. Suka touched his chin and said, Then do you still want to go back? After all, from what you just said, you seem to hate your brothers and sisters very much. If I were you, I would definitely go back and kill them. Joker grinned. To be honest, I did consider this issue before, but that place is a bit special, and I might not be able to get out if I go back, so I don't think about going back for the time being. And my brothers and sisters are hard to kill. You don't understand. Suka shook his head. Hard to kill? There is nothing hard to kill for me. As long as they are human, I can kill them. An exaggerated smile appeared on the corner of Joker's mouth. And what if they're not human? Suka laughed. When Joker heard the phone call, a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes, because his intuition told him that the man in front of him didn't seem to be lying. But how is this possible if his brothers and sisters are not human? Isn't he also human? Really interesting. Mr. Sue, do you know the purpose of your visit this time? Joker continued to ask. Definitely. Suka nodded. It's because you killed the former psychiatrist with a pen yesterday. But to be honest, I think you are normal. Hearing this, Joker regained his spirits instantly. You must know that this is the first time someone said that he is normal. But in the next second, he heard Suka continue. Don't get me wrong, I'm just talking about your thinking, because your original plan is that after you kill the psychiatrist, Batman will come see you, which is theoretically correct. But unfortunately, it was me who came. Joker fell silent when he heard this, because what Suku said is right. He did plan like this before. I just don't know why the man in front of me knows his plan. Before he could ask, Suka suddenly spoke again. You suffer from a series of mental illnesses, such as schizophrenia, split personality, ugly movement disorder, and borderline personality disorder. The probability of these diseases appearing in one person at the same time is very low. It is no different from winning the first prize. According to the rules, I have to prescribe you some medicine. As Suka said, he picked up a pen and wrote down the names of some medicines on the paper, which were nothing more than medicines for treating mental illness. After finishing writing, Sue could casually put the pen on the table in front of her. Joker stared at the pen on the table, and a hint of madness flashed in his eyes for an instant. But before he could take any action, Suku's voice sounded again. I advise you not to do that because I really like this job. So far, I don't want to kill you. Wow. Joker grinned again when he heard this. In the next second, his two hands were placed directly on the table. When did you know I was free? Joker asked. It's not important. What's important is that I'm not your enemy. On the contrary, I think we might become friends. Suku smiled. Friend? When Joker heard this, it was as if he had heard something funny. My last friend was pushed down from a 50-story building by me. My last friend was stabbed to death by a knife, and my last friend was hit by a truck to death. So now, do you think you'll still be my friend? Joker asked with a smirk. Definitely. Suku said indifferently. Believe me, I will not die. You are so interesting. As soon as the words came out, Joker grabbed the pen on the table violently and then stabbed at Suku's eyes. Although Suku sensed Joker's actions instantly, he didn't move at all, not even blinking his eyes. And the pen finally stopped less than 1 centimeter away from his eyes. You're right. We can indeed be friends because you're as crazy as I am. Joker smiled, then put the pen on the table. If he had really done something just now, Suku might have killed himself in an instant. It's a really weird feeling. He didn't even know why he had such thoughts. Immediately afterwards, Joker's actions caught the attention of the prison guards. In the next second, the door was pushed open. Then 7 or 8 heavily armed prison guards rushed in and pressed Joker on the table in front of him. But Joker didn't care at all, just looked at Suku and asked, So, shall we meet again? Definitely. After all, from today onwards, I will be the psychiatrist here. Suku said with a smile, then strode out. At this moment, the Joker behind him let out a very weird laugh, as if celebrating the addition of a lunatic like him in this world. Chapter 2, Catwoman and Harley Quinn. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the sign-in task, and you will be rewarded with a chance to draw a lottery and 10,000 system points. Just as Suku left, the voice of the system suddenly rang in his mind. That's right. Suku is a time traveler. As a time traveler, Suku once thought that his luck was very bad, because at the very beginning, he actually traveled directly to the hell in the adventures of Jackie Chan, and became the boss of the 8 great demons. Devil of the Moon, Curse Blue. I thought I was going to be trapped in hell forever, but I didn't expect the sign-in system to appear at this time. After completing the novice task, the system directly took him out of hell after being released from prison. Suku realized how chaotic the world really is, because this is not a simple world of Jackie Chan's adventures, but a big world that integrates Marvel and DC. But it doesn't seem to matter too much to Suku, because he is different from the other 7 brothers and sisters. He doesn't want to rule the world, he just wants to live leisurely in this world. Or to be more precise, he just wants to survive in this world. But as a demon, chaos will always be his favorite. So he came to Gotham City, and relying on the ability of the devil to hear the inner thoughts of human beings, he opened a psychological consultation clinic and became a psychiatrist. In the city of Gotham, even the air is full of chaos. This is the devil's favorite flavor. Definitely, he also occasionally helps some guys deal with physical injuries, such as Scarecrow, Death Knell, Penguin, and Joker just now in addition. He even helped Jean and treated a fatal wound. For the devil, this is not a difficult task, until the system released a new task, asking him to sign in at the Arkham Asylum. And then he became the psychiatrist of the Arkham Asylum. Fortunately, the psychiatrists in Arkham Asylum don't have to go to work every day. They only need to come over on Wednesday and Friday every week to help treat some prisoners. So Suku is still very relaxed. All the way through the Arkham Asylum, surrounded by inmates screaming madly or in pain, Suku really enjoyed it. When Suku walked out of the gate of Arkham Asylum, a young girl with an anxious face ran over immediately. Boss, are you okay? The girl asked concerned. The girl's name is Harleen Quinzel, and definitely you may be more familiar with her other name. Harley Quinn. In DC's original plot, Harley Quinn was originally assigned to treat Joker's psychiatrist. but attracted by Joker's crazy personality charm. He became a patient obsessed with him. Believing she's in love with Joker, she helps him out of prison, eventually going mad and calling herself Harley Quinn. It's just that this kind of thing won't happen again, because half a month ago, Harley Quinn came to Suku's psychological counseling clinic to find a job and was successfully hired by Suku. Now she is just an employee of Suku. In fact, when she knew that Suku was going to Arkham Asylum to be a psychiatrist, Harley Quinn had persuaded Suku more than once not to go, because as far as she knew, the Arkham Asylum held super criminals with extremely twisted minds. Even the last psychiatrist was stabbed to death by one of the prisoners with a pen. She was really worried that Suku would be hurt. After all, it is really hard to find a boss who can rent an apartment for his employees and offer a monthly salary of $10,000. Suku saw through Harley Quinn's inner thoughts at a glance, and then pretended to be joking and said, "Harley, are you worried that no one will help you rent a house and pay wages after I die?" Harley Quinn's eyes widened instantly, and she looked at Suku in disbelief, because she really didn't know how Suku knew what was going on in her heart. But soon, she shook her head hastily. "Boss, I'm really worried about you." Suku looked amused, and then threw the handbag into the back of the next car, opened the door, and sat in the driver's seat. "Gone," Suku said to Harley Quinn. Oh. Harley Quinn nodded, hurriedly opened the passenger's door, and got into the car. Immediately afterwards, the car started and drove towards the block where Suku was located. When passing by a Western restaurant, Suku stopped, took Harry to eat something, and packed a portion before leaving. An hour later, they finally arrived at the door of an Angel Psychological Counseling Clinic. There is no doubt that this is Suku's psychological clinic. In fact, Suku originally planned to name his psychological clinic Demon Psychological Consultation Clinic. But considering that it was too easy to leak, it completely violated his low-key principle. So he finally changed the devil to Angel. As soon as the two got out of the car, a tall girl came out of the clinic and said with an unhappy face, "I said, you too? Did you forget that there is another person here? I didn't even eat lunch." The girl's name is Selena Kyle, and she was originally a thief who targeted all kinds of precious works of art, such as jewelry and cultural relics. Her stealing skills are world-class, and she can steal targets in any heavily guarded environment. Definitely, she also has another name, Catwoman. Unlike Harley Quinn, Catwoman met Suku when she was hunted down by her enemies. Because of Suku's timely shot, Catwoman survived. Ever since, she stayed with Suku and became the front desk of Angel's Consultation Clinic. Definitely, when bored at night, Selena still occasionally steals something. "Hey, Selena, here's the food for you. It contains your favorite dessert," Harley said with a smile, and handed over the packaged food in his hand. "Oomph, you guys have a bit of conscience." Selena took the food, snorted, turned, and walked into the clinic. Suku rubbed his chin, wondering if he was too nice to these two chicks. That's why they were so presumptuous? Back at the clinic, Suku came directly to the office, and as for the outside, it was completely handed over to Selena and Harley. Among them, Harley is responsible for treating the patients who come here. After all, she was originally a psychiatrist. As for Selena, rather than being a receptionist, it would be more appropriate to say that she is a thug. You must know that in this ghost place of Gotham, survival is not an easy task. Even if it's just a hospital, there are occasional gangsters who come to make trouble. So at this time, Selena, who is the front desk, will turn into a thug and then teach those little bastards who come to make trouble. This saved Suku a lot of trouble, because before meeting Selena, every time Suku encountered this kind of thing, he would instantly kill her. What? You say you feel guilty about killing people? Please. He is not human. He is a devil. Chapter 3, as we all know, the Holy Master never keeps his promises. Lying on the chair in the office, Suku opened the system store, and the system store showed that he already had 300,000 system points. Seems like a lot, right? What's the use? Good things can't be bought. Ding. The host still has a chance to draw a lottery. May I ask if the host is doing a lottery now? At this moment, the sound of the system suddenly sounded. Lottery, Suku said without any hesitation. Anyway, there is nothing to do now, just pass the time. And the system's lottery sometimes does draw good things. For example, in his first lottery draw, he got a random teleportation opportunity. It is also because of this that he can leave hell. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning a new skill, Immune Seal. At this moment, the sound of the system suddenly sounded. Immunity Cell. What is this thing? Suka looked at the light spot in front of him with some curiosity, and then reached out to grab the light spot in his hand. In an instant, a stream of information appeared in his mind. Immunity to Seal. After learning this skill, any sealing spell will be invalid to the host. FK. So dawdling? Suka was stunned for a moment. You must know that as an immortal demon, in this world, he is almost not afraid of anything. The only thing he is afraid of is being sealed back to hell again. And in this world, there are quite a lot of magicians who can do this, such as Papa, such as Ancient One, such as Doctor Strange, such as Dr. Fate. If he meets these guys, Suka might be sealed back to hell again. But now, it doesn't seem to be a problem anymore, because as long as he learns the immunity seal skill, he will never be sealed again. System, you are really good. Immediately afterwards, without any hesitation, Suka directly held the light spot in his hand. As the light spots entered the body, Suka suddenly felt that there seemed to be an extremely precise magic circle in his body. And this magic circle can help him be immune to any sealing spells. Now he is finally truly immortal. Beautiful. Ding! A new task will be released now. Please go to the place where the Holy Master is to sign in. Reward a chance to draw a lottery and 10,000 system points. At this moment, the system suddenly released a new task. But when she heard the details of the mission, Suka had a look of helplessness. There is no other reason, but because Suku really doesn't want to deal with the younger brother of the Lord, because it replaced Julian. Suku also inherited all of Julian's memories. In Julian's original memory, the Lord has always been a sinister, cunning guy who doesn't keep his promises. Thousands of years ago, after all the demons were defeated by the 8 immortals and sealed in hell, the Holy Lord proposed that the other 7 demons send him to the human world with magic, and then he would find a way to save other brothers and sisters. The demons believed the words of the Holy Lord, and then sent the Holy Lord to the human world with magic. As a result, after going out, the Holy Master forgot his previous promise and ruled the human world alone. Until Lopez appeared, the Lord was deprived of the 12 spells and turned into a statue of a dragon. Because of this incident, the demons in hell have always hated the Holy Lord. So after leaving hell, Suku didn't pay attention to the Lord. But because of a special relationship, Suku still occasionally felt the Holy Master's soul screaming in pain. But he didn't care at all. I originally thought that as long as I didn't go to the Holy Master, I would have nothing to do with the Holy Master. In the end, I didn't expect the system to issue such a task. Although quite speechless about this task, Suku still intends to meet the Holy Master. But don't get me wrong, he doesn't want to catch up with the Holy Master, he just wants to get more lucky draw opportunities. After all, the last few lottery draws did get very good things. Maybe you can get something good? Thinking of this, Suka looked at the time again, then stood up directly and walked towards the outside of the house. Where you go? Selena asked curiously. Go see my BD brother, Suka said without looking back, and then walked out directly. Forehead. Selena was a little speechless because she didn't expect Suku to have a younger brother. Although he didn't know where the Holy Master was, it was obviously not a problem for Suku, because the system has already marked the coordinates when releasing the task. You only need to follow the route. As the Moon Demon, Suku naturally has the ability to fly, but he still plans to drive in the end. The reason is simple. He really doesn't want to explain to everyone why a psychiatrist can fly. After several hours, Suku finally came to the city where the Lord is. At the same time, in a dark basement. Trash. Trash. You are a bunch of trash. Until now, you haven't even found a single talisman. You really let me down. In the empty basement, an angry roar suddenly sounded. Immediately afterwards, the eyes of the Panlong statue, hanging on the wall, suddenly burst into a red light. A wave of devilish energy spread instantly, and the few people in front of them trembled in fright. This Panlong statue is the Holy Lord who has been deprived of the 12 talismans. As for the humans in front of the Holy Lord, they are naturally Walong, Fen, Zhou, and Tolu. They are the Mafia, and they're the most loyal younger brothers of the Holy Lord. As for why he is so loyal, it is definitely because the Holy Lord promised Valen, as long as Walong helps him get the 12 charms, he will present the legendary treasure of the Golden Rooster King to Walong. Definitely. Everyone knows that the Lord will not keep such a promise. After all, the Holy Master never keeps his promises, even to other brothers and sisters, let alone to humans like Valen. Facing the angry Holy Master, Valen also looked aggrieved. You must know that in order to help the Holy Lord find the spell, he almost lost all his family property, and because of this, only these four were left among the tens of thousands of younger brothers. But even so, the Holy Master is still blaming him, which really makes Valen very depressed. Immediately afterwards, just as Valen was about to say something, an inexplicable sleepiness suddenly struck. In the next second, Walong's neck tilted and he passed out. Before Leisu and the others could react, they all passed out. What's the situation? The Holy Lord instantly became alert. Although his soul was trapped in the Panlong statue, he still felt a powerful magic approaching him. Who the hell? Come out! The Holy Lord roared. His eyes were even scarlet. The next second, a strange figure appeared at the door of the basement. The Holy Master was slightly taken aback, because he actually felt a trace of familiarity in this strange human being. What a strange feeling. Then, before he could ask, the other party spoke first. "Hello, Holy Master," Suka said slowly, hearing this familiar voice. Holy Master's soul couldn't help trembling, because he remembered the owner of this voice. Devil of the Moon, Curse Blue, the most powerful demon among the 8 great demons. Chapter 4 Humble Holy Lord. Curse Blue, when did you come out of hell? The Holy Lord looked at Suku in front of him in disbelief and asked. Although Julian has turned into a human being at this moment, as a former brother, the Holy Lord recognized Julian instantly. But this is simply impossible, because demons can't escape from hell after the 8 demons were defeated by the unknown death god. They were sealed in hell forever. Logically speaking, the 8 demons have no chance of escaping at all, because the only way to open the gate of hell is the Panka treasure box. However, the Panka treasure box was left in the human world by an unknown death god, and the demons had no chance of contacting it. Definitely, Holy Master is an exception, because the Holy Lord was sent out by other demons. There is even the power of the Holy Lord himself. That is to say, the combined power of 8 demons can send 1 demon out. And this is why the Holy Master was shocked, because he knew that the remaining 7 demons could not send another demon out. But the Curse Blue just came out. What? See me come out of hell? You seem a little unhappy at this time. Suka walked slowly in front of the Holy Master and said in a teasing tone, No, no. The Holy Lord reacted in an instant, and his tone became humble in an instant. My brother, welcome to this world. With your help, we will release other brothers and sisters and rule the whole world. Although the Lord doesn't know how the Curse Blue came out of hell, it doesn't seem to matter anymore. The important thing is, with the help of Julian, I can definitely restore my original strength. Then world domination is just around the corner. After all, Julian is the most powerful existence among the 8 great demons. Just when the Holy Lord was thinking, an extremely powerful force suddenly enveloped the Holy Lord's soul. Before the Holy Master could react, his soul was forcibly ripped out of the coiling dragon statue. In an instant, a stabbing pain from the depths of the soul began to fill the Holy Master's soul, making him howl in pain uncontrollably. You must know that although the Panlong statue imprisoned the Holy Lord, it is also the only thing that can carry the Holy Lord's soul. Only in the Panlong statue can the Holy Master stay in this world. If the Holy Lord's soul forcibly escapes from the coiling dragon statue without the rat charm or sheep charm, then he will be sucked into hell. For example, right now, The Holy Lord can already feel that hell is sucking his soul, and the culprit of all this is the cursed blue not far away. My brother, why? Why did you do this to me? While struggling in pain, the Holy Master looked at Suku. Suku sneered. Holy Lord, don't think that I will forget what happened back then after I come out of hell. Back then, my 6 other siblings and I tried our best to send you out of hell. You promised to release us after you left hell. What did you do in the end? You forgot the promise you made to me and chose one person to rule the world. It wasn't until I was defeated by a human magician again that I turned into this ghostly appearance. Am I right? Because she inherited all of Juland's memories. Suku is also worried about this matter. The Holy Master was speechless for a moment. Because what Suku said is right. After he left hell that year, he really forgot the previous promise to other demons, and then ruled the world alone. Unexpectedly, he ran into a damned human magician, Lopez. Lopez not only defeated him, but even deprived him of the 12 charms, so his soul could only be placed in the Panlong statue. The Lord hates Lopez so much. Suddenly at this moment, a strong pain hit again, and the Holy Master couldn't help but screamed in pain again. He could feel that hell was about to swallow his soul. Chapter 5, Holy Lord and Panku Treasure Box. Demons are immortal. Even if they are really swallowed by hell, they are only re-imprisoned into hell. But for the Lord, being imprisoned in hell scares him far more than death. Especially there are 6 demons who have been betrayed by him in hell. If he really returned to hell, what awaited him would be endless torture. Thinking of this, Holy Master's heart is filled with endless fear. My brother, please don't do this. I can't go back to hell. Forgive me. I promise I will never betray you again. The Holy Master roared with the last of his strength. At the moment, he was really scared, and at this moment, not far away, the space began to shatter, and then something similar to a black hole was gradually forming. On the other side of the black hole is the hell where demons are imprisoned. At this moment, Holy Master almost collapsed. But in the next second, Holy Master suddenly felt that the confinement of the soul disappeared. Without the slightest hesitation, the Holy Master fled directly back into the Panlong statue. At the same time, the gate of hell that is about to appear has completely disappeared. Suku still didn't throw Shangju into hell in the end. Definitely, this is not a scruple about brotherhood. Back when the Holy Master betrayed the other demons, there was no brotherhood between them. The reason why Suku would do this, after all, is because of the FG law of this world. Although the current world is the world after Marvel, DC, and Chunlong's adventures integrate, the law of Chunlong's adventures still exists in this world. The so-called law is naturally a balance between good and evil. To put it simply, this world needs the Holy Master to maintain the balance. If the Holy Master is driven back to hell, a new demon will appear to maintain this balance. And judging from the current situation, this demon is very likely to be himself. So in order not to cause trouble for herself, Suku finally let the Lord go. And he knew that to continue the next plot, the Holy Master must also exist. But obviously, the Lord didn't know about this. He thought it was Suku thinking about the old relationship, so he let himself go. Thank you, my brother. I promise I will never betray you again. After recovering, the Holy Master hurriedly spoke again. He is really scared, but Suku didn't bother to talk to Holy Master, but asked, Holy Master, where is Panku's treasure box? Not long after he came out of hell, Suku tried to find the Panku treasure box. After all, this thing is still very important to demons. According to the original plot, he made a special trip to the temple where Panku's treasure box was placed. But the result is very surprising, because the Panku box is not there. So Suku suspects that the Panku treasure box was taken by the Holy Master a long time ago. Sure enough, he guessed right. My brother, the Panku treasure box was indeed here with me a long time ago, and I put it together with the Golden Rooster King treasure. But if I want to open the treasure of the Golden Rooster King, I must obtain all the power. If you're willing to help me get all the power, then you can get the Panku treasure box. At that time, you can also release other brothers and sisters. With the previous events, the Holy Master didn't dare to hide anything and directly revealed the whereabouts of Panku's treasure box. Definitely, he also mentioned in passing the idea of asking Suku to help find the talisman. After all, Valen and the others are so useless that they haven't brought him any spells yet. He needs the help of Julan. But when he heard this, Suku frowned because he felt it was too troublesome. In order to find Panku's treasure box before, I was completely worried that I would be sealed back to hell again. But now that he has the ability to be immune to seals, it means that he is absolutely unable to be sealed. So, the Panka treasure box is useless to him. The only ones who really need Panka's treasure box are the other 6 demons who are still imprisoned in hell. That is, Devil of the Mountain, Pagan, the Devil of the Wind, Sawfoam, Demon of Thunder, Zhongsu, Water Demon, Basha, the Devil of the Earth, the Earth Chief, the Demon of the Sky, Shimu. They can only leave hell with the help of the Panka box. To be honest, Suku really doesn't have any special feelings for these guys. But after all, they are brothers and Suku can't deprive them of the chance to get out of prison. As for whether he will be sealed back to hell after being released from prison, then Suku can't control it. So, Suku decided to help the Lord. I will only help you get the rat charm. As for the rest of the spells, you can figure out your own way. Sunontai Kiskiviko said. The rat charm represents the power of life, which can endow static energy and enable non-living things to have life and ability to move. If the Lord wants to restore the original body from the Panlong statue, he must use the rat charm. Chapter 6 Black Widow suddenly appeared. The Holy Master was somewhat disappointed when he heard this, because he originally wanted Suku to help him find all the spells. But obviously, Suku is not willing. But if you think about it carefully, as long as you get the rat talisman, you will be completely free from the shackles. And then you will be able to find the rest of the talisman by yourself. Thinking of this, the Holy Master immediately gave another burst of thanks. My brother, thank you so much. One mouthful, and one brother called each other affectionately. Why didn't you think of this brother when you ruled the world back then? Suka didn't bother to complain about Holy Master anymore. Wait, I'll come to you after I find a rat charm. After saying this, without waiting for the Holy Master to react, Suku turned into a black aura and disappeared. The Lord was at a loss for words because he hadn't finished speaking yet. Not long after, Suku came out from a remote alley. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. A chance to draw a lottery and 10,000 system points will be rewarded. At this moment, the sound of the system suddenly sounded. Suku smiled and shook. If it wasn't for the system requirement, he wouldn't bother to talk to the Holy Master. Then, just as Suku walked to the side of the car and was about to drive away from here, he suddenly stopped. Trust me, no matter what you're going to do, you are looking for the wrong person. So I advise you to get out of here. While talking, Suku smiled and stared at another small alley not far away. The devil's intuition told him that there was someone there, and not just one person. Sure enough, as soon as his voice fell, there was a burst of footsteps. Immediately afterwards, a group of people who looked like agents appeared in front of Suku. The moment Suku saw this group of agents, he immediately thought of District 13. After all, in Chunlong's adventures, the 13th District has always been the sworn enemy of Wallen and the others. But in the next second, Suku knew that he had guessed wrong, because a woman suddenly appeared in Suku's sight. With just one glance, Suku recognized the identity of this woman, Natasha Romanoff. Definitely, you may be more familiar with her other name, Black Widow. This somewhat surprised Suku. First of all, he can be sure that Natasha Romanoff is definitely not here to find him. If this is the case, then she can only come to the Lord in Walong. It is indeed a bit surprising that the characters from the Marvel world came to find the characters in the adventures of Chunlong. Who are you? Just when Suku was thinking, a voice suddenly sounded. It was none other than Natasha Romanoff who spoke. Suku came back to his senses, first gave a harmless smile, and then said, "It doesn't matter who I am. What matters is why you came here. To be honest, you shouldn't be here. If it was the 13th District that appeared here at this moment, then Suku would not be surprised. But it was SHILD who appeared. This shit is too dramatic. Seeing that the other party was unwilling to reveal her identity, Natasha Romanoff also became a little impatient at the moment. "Catch him first," Natasha Romanoff said to the agent beside her. In the next second, two agents walked towards Suku. One of the agents also said in a provocative tone, "Guazhongwa, I advise you to stay still. Otherwise, we will be impolite." Hearing this, Suku's eyes instantly flashed with murderous intent. As a demon who wants to stay in the American comics universe, he rarely initiates troubles, but when things come to him, he never hides. In the next second, without any warning, the bodies of the two agents who had just walked in front of Suku suddenly sank. An unbelievably powerful force suddenly acted on them. Pust, accompanied by a special sound. Before the two agents had time to say a word, their bodies were instantly crushed by Invisible's power. As a result, two stalls of minced meat appeared in front of Suku, and the minced meat was mixed with internal organs and blood clots. When seeing this scene, everyone present was terrified because they didn't know what was going on. But soon, Natasha Romanoff still reacted. "Who are you?" Natasha Romanoff took out his pistol and pointed it at Suku, telling her intuitively that this man did what happened just now. And this man is extremely dangerous. But before Suku could speak, an agent next to Natasha Romanoff pulled the trigger first. Boom! A bullet shot at Suku. Boom! More bullets were fired at Suku. But then, something shocking happened. I saw that the bullet they fired unexpectedly stopped less than 10 centimeters away from Suku. It was as if there was something blocking the bullet around Suku. "Who are you?" Natasha Romanoff gritted her teeth and asked a third time. And this time, Suku finally answered her. The scarlet eyes lit up in vain, and a domineering yet cold voice exploded in everyone's hearts. "Moon Demon, Curse Blue. Chapter 7 from now on. I am your master. Devil of the Moon, Curse Blue." Natasha Romanoff had never heard the name and had no idea what it meant. Definitely, it doesn't matter anymore, because at the moment, she has become the only survivor here. Some of the agents exploded on the spot beside her, turning into a puddle of meat. The rest flew into the sky inexplicably until they disappeared from sight. Definitely, if nothing else, they should be orbiting the Earth with the satellite of the United States now. But the person who caused all this is still calm at this moment. In fact, Suku not only has a calm expression, but also a quite calm heart. As I said before, as a demon who just wants to hang on, he actually doesn't take the initiative to cause trouble. But when things come to him, he will never run away. If the agent hadn't said the phrase "Zhongwa guy" just now, then Suku probably wouldn't have killed him. It's a pity that he insisted on dying and killed everyone. And to do all this, what Suku relies on is just an idea. As the demon of the moon, the head of the 8 demons, Suku possesses the absolute power to manipulate gravity. As long as he wants, he can manipulate the moon to hit the Earth at any time. Definitely, he doesn't intend to do it at the moment. At this moment, Suku stared at Natasha Romanoff not far away. Originally, Suku planned to kill Natasha Romanoff with him just now. After all, he had already killed so many people, and this one was not bad. And to be honest, he doesn't really have a thing in particular about Natasha Romanoff. After all, according to the setting of the Marvel Universe, Natasha Romanoff has rolled over with almost all superheroes, such as Captain America, Hawkeye, Iron Man, etc. As a powerful demon, Suku really despises her. The reason why he didn't kill her was because he had other things in mind. Although Suku doesn't like SHIELD in Avengers, but I have to say, these guys always like to make things happen. In order to continue to live in peace, Suku feels that it is necessary for him to master the various actions of SHIELD and Avengers. And Natasha Romanoff is the best pawn because she is both a high-level agent of SHIELD and a member of Avengers. That's the only reason she's alive. Boom. Suddenly at this moment, another burst of gunfire rang out. Suku first looked at the bullets in front of him, and then at Natasha Romanoff, who was so frightened that he collapsed to the ground not far away. At the moment, Natasha Romanoff was pointing the gun at him tremblingly. She was terrified, afraid that she too would die like everyone else. But it was clear that her worries were unnecessary. Suku stretched out his right hand and grabbed it from the air, and Natasha Romanoff's body flew towards him involuntarily in an instant. Then he was frozen in front of Suku. Looking at Natasha Romanoff, who looked terrified in front of her, Suku smiled slightly. "Don't worry, I won't kill you, because you have other uses for me." In the next second, Suku's eyes turned scarlet again. "Natasha Romanoff, from now on, I am your master. You will obey any of my orders unconditionally, and you will always submit to me. Your life, your body, everything you have belongs to me. I am your only master, Devil of the Moon." Curse blew. Accompanied by the whisper of the devil, Natasha Romanoff's eyes began to turn scarlet, and his consciousness gradually became blurred until he was completely reduced to Suku's puppet. Not long after, the red light in Natasha Romanoff's eyes faded, as if returning to normal. But this is just an illusion at the moment. Her soul has already been grasped by Suku. Take care of everything here, and don't let the SHILD people bother the mafia. After saying this lightly, Suku left immediately. As for why SHILD found here, it doesn't matter to Suku anymore, because Natasha Romanoff will take care of it all. By the time we got back to Gotham, it was already midnight. Returning to this familiar city again, feeling the chaos of this city, Suku only felt that his whole body was relaxed. The next day, putting on a white coat, Gotham's most famous psychiatrist started to work. Although a lot of people were killed at Marvel yesterday, life must go on. Business is mediocre today, and the occasional visitor is not a super crime. So Suku let Harley deal with it. As a psychiatrist, Harley could handle these sorts of things. The time soon came to the afternoon. Just when Suku was thinking about whether to leave work early, an inconspicuous car suddenly stopped at the door. Then a middle-aged man with a hat covering his entire head stumbled in. "Excuse me, is Dr. Sue here?" The man asked Selina anxiously. "Sorry, Dr. Sue doesn't accept patients today. Dr. Harley can treat you if necessary," Selina said without raising her head. When the man heard this, he kept shaking his head. "I'm not looking for Dr. Harley. I'm only looking for Dr. Sue. My problem can only be solved by Dr. Sue. Tell me, where is he?" This was just heard by Harley, who had just walked out, and she was a little unhappy in an instant. Although she's indeed not as powerful as Suku, this person really doesn't give her any face. Chapter 8: Invitation from Bruce Wayne. "Sir, if you really need treatment, I can help you." Harley couldn't help but speak. But the other party didn't even look at Harley and still said very anxiously, "I only want Dr. Sue. No other doctor. As long as Dr. Sue is willing to go, no matter how much it costs." When Selina and Harley heard this, their eyes lit up instantly. How much money can it be? This is obviously a super rich man. But soon, they suddenly lost their energy like a deflated ball. Because with Suku's temper, you might not go. In fact, they couldn't figure out what was going on with Suku either. Whenever those rich people from Gotham come to see Suku, Suku always ignores them. On the contrary, when those super criminals who murder, set fire, and do all kinds of crimes come to Suku, Suku always does it by himself. They once suspected that their boss's head might be a little abnormal. Meanwhile, in the office, Suku was lying on the chair leisurely. He definitely heard the quarrel outside, but he didn't have the slightest intention of going out, because he is really too lazy to deal with those rich people. Ding! New missions are being released now. Please go to Wayne Manor to sign in. Reward a lucky draw chance and 10,000 system points. At this moment, the sound of the system suddenly sounded. Wayne Estate? Isn't this Nima where Batman lives? Suku was a little puzzled. Why did the system inexplicably assign such a task? But in the next second, Suku suddenly thought of something, then stood up and walked out. Pushing open the door, Suku saw not far away a middle-aged man was standing there anxiously. On the other hand, Harley and Selina looked helpless. Seeing Suku appear, Harley immediately said with an unhappy face, "Boss, this person insists on looking for you. You can figure it out." Hearing this, the man looked at Suku in surprise, as if he didn't expect the doctor he was looking for to be so young. "You are Dr. Sue? It's great to find you. Please come with me immediately." After it's done, it doesn't matter how much money you want. The man walked up to Suku and said anxiously. Suku didn't agree to the man, but just asked, "What's your name?" Forehead. Hearing this, the man suddenly became hesitant, as if he didn't want to reveal his identity. "It's fine if you don't want to say it, Selena. See off the guests." Suku directly issued the order to evict the guest. "Don't." When the man heard this, he panicked for a moment. After a moment of hesitation, he said, "Alfred Pennyworth." Alfred Pennyworth? Hearing this, Selena on the side instantly regained her spirits. "I've heard this name before. It's said to be the steward of the Wayne family." Harley on the side also looked at Alfred in surprise. Obviously, she had heard of this name before. Definitely, compared to this name, they actually care more about the young master of the Wayne family. In contrast, Suku is much calmer now, because he guessed the other party's identity early in the morning. You must know that the system will not issue tasks for no reason, and each task must be accompanied by some events. For example, right now, Suku can be sure that something must have happened to Batman Bruce Wayne. Otherwise, Alfred wouldn't be here. "Tell me, what can you do with me?" Suku continued to ask. "There is a patient who needs your help to treat it." Alfred said cryptically. "What patient?" Suku became a little interested. "You will know when you go." Alfred didn't want to say more. Without saying a word, Suku turned around and left, leaving only one word. "See a visitor out. Now." Alfred is really in a hurry. "Don't. Let me tell you, Master Bruce is injured. The injury is serious. I have heard that your medical skills are very superb, so I want you to help." Alfred said hastily. "Really? I guessed it right again. Harley, Selena, I'm going out for a while. Don't run around here." Suku directly picked up the medicine box at the side and then said to Harley and Selena at the side, "Boss, can I go together?" Selena asked, blinking her eyes. "No." Suku directly refused because he knew that Selena would definitely want to steal again. Seeing that Suku agreed, Alfred was relieved. Immediately afterwards, he seemed to think of something again and then directly took out 2 stacks of banknotes from his pocket and stuffed them into the hands of Selena and Harley respectively. "Both of you, please keep today's matter a secret. Just pretend that I have never been here before." Alfred said, "Oh, don't worry, I didn't see anything today." When the two got the money, they immediately nodded their heads like chickens pecking at rice. Obviously, this is the hush money. Suko pretends not to see. Definitely he doesn't care. Immediately afterwards, the two got into the car at the door, and then the car drove to Wayne Manor. Chapter 9. Cool. Bruce Wayne is dead. Along the way, although the two had almost no communication, Suku still learned everything from Alfred by using the devil's ability to spy on people's hearts. Simply put, Bruce Wayne injured. And the injury was very serious. So serious that ordinary hospitals couldn't treat it. So, I found myself. Alfred originally did not agree to ask himself for help, because he could not trust a doctor who would help criminals heal. But for some reason, Bruce Wayne insisted on seeking his own treatment. So Alfred can only invite himself at the door. And because of Bruce Wayne's special status, Alfred dared not let others know about his injury. Even when I asked Suku for help, I changed to a small broken car, and I even disguised myself. "Dr. Sue, can you really heal Master Bruce's injuries?" At this moment, Alfred suddenly asked. Suku was speechless when he heard this, because so far, he didn't even know what Bruce was injured. The news I got from Alfred's mind before was just that Bruce was seriously injured. More specifically, he really didn't know. But having said that, as long as Bruce is still alive, Suku can save him. Even if Bruce died, Suku could find a way to revive him. Definitely, it's better not to hang up, because it will be troublesome. So, Suku replied, "As long as he is still alive, I can cure him." When Alfred heard this, his nervous expression eased a little. The car passed through the streets and soon came to the wealthy area of Gotham. After another 10 minutes of driving, we finally arrived at an extremely magnificent manor. This is the Wayne estate. That's Batman's lair. After parking the car, Alfred didn't dare to have the slightest hesitation and brought Suku straight to a luxurious room. A man covered in bandages was lying on the top of the room at the moment, and it was Bruce Wayne. Alfred quickly came to the bed and then said to Suku, who was standing at the door, Dr. Sue, please treat him quickly. However, at this moment, Suku was just standing at the door with a face full of pain. There is no intention of saving people at all. There is no other reason, but because there is a person standing beside that bed at the moment. Or rather, a human soul. This soul is none other than Bruce Wayne lying on the ground. Right? You heard me right. Bruce Wayne is FG dead. Suku was almost drunk. He just casually said that he could be saved if he died. So why did Bruce really die? And this is too outrageous, right? You know that Batman is one of the most important superheroes in the DC universe. How could he die so easily? Outrageous. It's outrageous. Dr. Sue, come and take a look. Master Bruce doesn't seem to be breathing. At this moment, Alfred's voice suddenly sounded again, and he was extremely excited. Suka sighed in his heart, thinking that it would be strange if he could breathe. This damsel would still be breathing after dying. But he can't say that. So, Suka came directly to the bed and then reached out to touch Bruce's neck. Good guy. It sure is cold. It can't be colder. Hurry up and save Master Bruce. Please. Alfred shouted again, his eyes blurred. It was obvious that he really cared about Bruce. Bruce's soul stood aside, looking at this man who was like a father, feeling extremely sad in his heart. Sorry, Alfred. Soul Bruce murmured. Okay, I see you go out. Leave this place to me, and I promise to save him. At this moment, Suka finally spoke. When Bruce, who had already turned into a soul, heard this, his eyes widened instantly, and he looked at Suku in disbelief. It never occurred to him that this man actually said that he could save himself even though he was already dead. But Alfred clearly doesn't think Bruce is dead. After hearing Suku's voice, Alfred was reluctant to leave the room while wiping away his tears. Close the door. Stay away from the room. I need absolute silence. In addition, no one is allowed to come in without my permission. Otherwise, if there is any accident during the operation, I don't care. Suka said again, Don't worry. I will do as you ordered. Please save Master Bruce. Alfred hastily swore a promise. Afterwards, Alfred left the room and closed the door behind him. However, when he saw this scene, Bruce, who had become a soul state, shook his head helplessly. Obviously, he thought Suku was here to scam money. Chapter 10, So What If You Die? I Will Still Save You. I really shouldn't believe the death knell's words. After all, he hurt me like this. How could he tell me how to be rescued? Soul Bruce shook his head and said helplessly. He felt that he must have been deceived by the death knell. Death knell? Suku was a little surprised when he heard this, because according to Bruce, the death knell beat him like this, and then told him that he could come to him for treatment? FK, why would Deathstroke do this? Nemus, I knew I wouldn't have saved this guy at the time. A week ago, Death Bell came to Suku's clinic with serious injuries. It was because of Suku's treatment that Death Bell survived. Unexpectedly, the death knell's injury happened just right. So he came to Batman to fight. And killed Batman, what a surprise. Shaking her head, Suka began to remove the straps from Bruce's body and then checked his wounds. Although there were many wounds on other parts of his body, none of them were too serious. What was really serious was a slap file-size wound on his chest. This wound directly hurt the heart, so Bruce died. Think about it too. After all, for human beings, the heart is indeed the most vulnerable place. Weak humans. Suku shook his head with emotion on his face. Bruce on the side heard this, and even though he laughed, he didn't know what he was laughing at. Definitely, Suku doesn't care either. In the next second, Suku put on the gloves and then directly plunged the tea into Bruce's chest. Under the touch, Suku really felt that there was indeed a wound on Bruce's heart. When seeing this scene, Bruce in the soul state was instantly speechless. Although he has died, this person can't treat his own body like this, right? Hey, can't you have a little respect for my dead body? Soul Bruce said helplessly. In the next second, Bruce saw Suka suddenly looking at him, and then spit out 2 words. Cannot. What's the situation? Bruce was stunned for a moment. Can a man in front of him see himself? Impossible. He was obviously dead, and even Alfred couldn't see him. So how could this man see himself? It must have been a coincidence. Bruce shook his head, but when he looked up, Bruce saw Suku still staring at him. Another coincidence? Puzzled in his heart, Soul Bruce stretched out his hand and then shook it in front of Suku. I promise, if you do this again, I will crush your heart immediately. Suku stared straight at Soul Bruce in front of him and said slowly, FK. The man in front of him could actually see him. In an instant, Soul Bruce's expression changed suddenly, as if he had seen a ghost. Although he is already a ghost now. Who are you? Soul Bruce couldn't help asking. Didn't the death knell tell you? Suku said. When he heard this, Soul Bruce finally confirmed that the man in front of him could indeed see himself. Why can you see me? Soul Bruce asked again. He didn't believe that Suku was just a simple doctor. It doesn't matter. What matters is your current situation. Tell me, how do you want to live? Suku didn't answer Soul Bruce's question, but asked rhetorically. How can I survive? Bruce was taken aback for a moment when he heard this. Aren't I already dead? Bruce said. So what if you're dead? As long as I am willing, I can bring you back to life. Suku said very freely. Bruce was speechless for a moment, but soon he still reacted. What do you mean by how to live? Bruce asked solemnly. Who would choose to die if they could live? Suku didn't hold back anymore and said directly, your heart was stabbed, and now there are two ways to treat it. One is the conventional treatment method, but if this is the case, you will not be able to engage in any strenuous exercise in the future. Otherwise, you may die suddenly. Second, I choose the second one. Before Suku could finish speaking, Bruce interrupted him directly. As the Dark Knight of Gotham, if he can't fight in this life, he might as well die now. Would you like to hear me out? Felt helpless. I just want to know, will the second method bring me back to normal? Bruce asked solemnly. Definitely yes. And I promise, you will get more powerful power. Let's get started. I'll choose the second one. Bruce didn't notice the meaning of Suku's words and couldn't wait to choose the second option. Then, as you wish, Suku stopped talking nonsense. In an instant, a black aura began to be used from his hands and then began to quickly repair Bruce's heart. With the restoration of the heart, Soul Bruce gradually lost consciousness. Chapter 11 Batman's soul belongs to the devil. Suku pulled his hand out of Bruce's chest, then took off the glove and casually threw it aside. Under the restoration of Black Aura, Bruce's heart has resumed beating, and his soul has returned to his body. Even the wounds on his body are recovering at a speed that can be seen in the meat rock for demons. Black Aura represents power, and similarly, demons could do anything with Black Aura. For example, resurrecting a dead human being and giving him power. Definitely, Suku has never done this before. Bruce is the first, and because of Black Aura, from now on, Bruce's soul completely belongs to him. Alfred, Suku shouted. Not long after, there was a sound of hurried footsteps, and the door was pushed open. Dr. Sue, what do you need? Alfred came over with a worried look on his face. No need, just to tell you that the operation was a success. Suku said. When Alfred heard this, his expression immediately became unbelievable, because at the moment, it was less than half an hour before he left here, just now. Completed an operation in half an hour? Just kidding. In the next second, without the slightest hesitation, Alfred fell to the side of the bed and put his hand under Bruce's nose. For a moment, Alfred's expression relaxed, because Bruce's breathing actually recovered again, and it was very stable. It's amazing. You know, Bruce wasn't breathing just now. At this moment, the big rock in Alfred's heart finally fell down. Thank you so much. Your medical skills are amazing. Alfred looked at Suku gratefully. He had only approached Suku with the attitude of giving it a try before, but he didn't expect Suku to be so powerful. You're welcome, since Bruce is fine. Then I'll go first. Let's talk about something else. Suku got up and was about to leave. When Alfred heard this, he immediately thought of something and took out a check from his pocket. Suku took the check and glanced at it. Well, not bad. A full 10 million US dollars. Batman is indeed rich. This is your reward, and I hope you can keep today's matter secret. After all, Master Bruce's identity is a bit special. If someone knows that he is injured, it may have a bad influence. Alfred said, Don't worry. I will keep it a secret for the patient," Suka said with a smile. Immediately afterwards, Alfred brought Suku to Bruce's garage. "I'm sorry, I have to take care of Master Bruce, so I can't take you back. Please pick a car you like and drive away. This is my thank you." Alfred pointed to the dozens of luxury cars in front of him and said, "Suku is also welcome." After some selection, he finally chose a red supercar. Alfred didn't turn back to Bruce's room until he watched Suku leave the Wayne Manor. But in the next second, Alfred was stunned suddenly, because at the moment, Bruce disappeared. What about people? Alfred was a little flustered and looked around the room for a while, but he never saw Bruce. Immediately afterwards, he seemed to think of something, and then came to a clock face. After turning the pointer, a mechanical sound rang out. Then the clock moved aside, and an elevator hidden inside appeared in front of Alfred. Alfred walked in, and then the elevator descended slowly, and soon came to an underground space. This is the Batcave, the secret base of Batman Bruce Wayne. "Master Bruce, are you there?" Alfred yelled. The next second, a familiar voice sounded. "I'm here." Then, there was a huge amount of crashing sound. Alfred walked over following the sound, and when he saw the scene in front of him, he was instantly shocked, speechless, because at the moment, Bruce was actually naked, swinging a hammer vigorously at the tire in front of him. Swinging the hammer is an exercise for strengthening the strength of the arm. Through the force of the legs, the torso is rotated to drive the body to smash the hammer. This approach can not only improve the coordination of the body, but also make the body stronger, allowing the trainer to punch to the flesh. This is one of the most basic drills for Bruce. Definitely, that's not the point. The point is that Bruce was almost dead half an hour ago. Why did he suddenly appear here again, and still doing such high-intensity training? Intuition told Alfred that this matter is not simple. Chapter 12 Boss. Are you trying to FK me? Master Bruce. Stop, you are dying. Although he didn't understand what was going on, for Bruce's safety, Alfred rushed to Bruce and stopped him. But in the next second, Alfred was stunned again. Because he saw the wound on Bruce's chest disappear. What's the situation? Alfred was stunned for a moment, knowing that he had bandaged Bruce's wound himself before. At that time, the wound on Bruce's heart was more than 10 centimeters wide, but why did it suddenly disappear now? What exactly is going on? Alfred asked in shock. Bruce also stopped at this moment and threw away the hammer in his hand, and then he slowly said, "Alfred, do you know? I actually died just now." Alfred was slightly taken aback. "Master Bruce, what are you talking about?" Bruce's eyes were complicated. "I know this kind of thing is hard to believe, but I can be sure that I was indeed dead just now. My soul is standing aside, watching you bring that man to my corpse. After you left, that man put his hand directly into my chest and then asked me how I want to live. He gave me two options, and I chose the second. And then I was like this. Alfred, that man is horrible. Can see the soul, can resurrect the dead self. Suku's ability is far beyond Bruce's comprehension." Alfred stood aside, a little shocked at first, but soon he suddenly regained his composure. "Master Bruce, but he saved you, didn't he?" Alfred spoke. Bruce didn't speak because he knew Alfred was right. No matter who Suku is, he always saves his own life. "It seems that I have to find time to thank him personally," Bruce murmured. The screen came to Lin Yu's side. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. A chance to draw a lottery and 10,000 system points will be rewarded. When he was about to return to the clinic, the system's sound suddenly rang. Counting the last one, Suku now has 2 lucky draw chances. But Suku didn't rush to draw the lottery, because from afar, he saw Selina had just closed the door of the clinic and was about to leave. Just don't know why. Harley wasn't there. Suku stopped beside Selina and then joked, "This beauty, I wonder if I can treat you to a meal." Selina looked back and was startled. "Boss, you stole Bruce Wayne's sports car." Nima. When Suku heard this, he almost vomited blood. This little girl really can't speak. The car was given by Bruce Wayne, not stolen. "Cut the nonsense. Are you going or not?" Suku said helplessly. When Selina heard this, she smiled mischievously. Then he walked to the side of the co-pilot, opened the door, and sat in. Immediately afterwards, the car started to move. Where's Harley? Suka asked while driving. Harley has something to do at home, so let's go home first, Selena said. So it is. Suka nodded and then continued. Go out with me tomorrow. What are you going to do? Selena asked curiously. You must know that every time Suku went out, Suku took Harley with him. After all, Harley is also a psychiatrist who can help Suku. Don't ask, you'll know when you go, Suka said, before Suku had promised Shung to help him find the rat charm. According to Suku's understanding, the rat spell would appear in an auction. So he is going to take Selena to participate in this auction. But in the next second, Suku saw Selena looking at herself with a strange look. Boss, don't you want to pick on me? Selena looked at Suku seriously and asked. Suku is speechless. Just kidding. Do you still need Lao Tzu bubble? In desperation, Suku could only explain the auction. Selena suddenly realized. Boss, do you want me to steal things for you? Suku was speechless again. It's a buy. It's a buy. Do you, my boss, look like someone who needs to steal something? At the moment, Suku can't wait to throw the 10 million check that he got before on Selena's face. How could Lousy, the majestic devil of the moon, do such a cheap thing as stealing things? Early the next morning, after greeting Harley, Suku set off with Selena. After passing through several cities, they soon arrived at their destination. But looking at the dilapidated site in front of her and the second-hand furniture piled up not far away, Selena was speechless. She thought that Suku was going to take him to a high-end auction, but she didn't expect it to be an auction of second-hand furniture. To be honest, she really doesn't know what's worth auctioning here. Chapter 13, The Rat Charm and Tony Stark. Although the Rat Charm has no offensive power, it is still one of the most important spells for the Holy Lord, because the Rat Charm can restore the Lord to freedom. Although the Sheep Charm can also do this, but the Sheep Charm can only restore the Lord's soul to freedom, but the body still cannot be restored. So compared to the Sheep Charm, the Lord wants to get the Mouse Charm more. And such an important spell unexpectedly appeared at an auction of secondhand furniture. It may sound a little pricey, but it's true. The two found a random place to sit down and then began to wait for the auction to start. But at this moment, Suku suddenly thought of something again and then looked around, because he suddenly remembered that according to the original plot of Chunlong's adventures, it seemed that Chunlong would also appear here. Definitely, there is also the Mafia here. But after some inspection, Suku did not see Chunlong and the Mafia. Ever since, Suku didn't care anymore. 10 minutes later, the auction has officially started. However, at the beginning of the auction, they were all ordinary furniture, which cost a few $100s at most. Suku naturally had no interest in these things, so he simply closed his eyes and meditated. Then let's start auctioning off the next item. This is a desk lamp inlaid with a mouse pattern. It looks very special. The starting price is 100. Anyone bid? The host shouted again. When Suka heard this, he opened his eyes instantly. Sure enough, he saw that the host was holding a desk lamp with a charm on it. It is the Rat Charm. It's him. Suka opened the mouth and said. When Selena on the side heard this, she looked curiously at the desk lamp in the host's hand. But to be honest, Selena really didn't think it was anything special. But since it was something her boss wanted, Selena had no choice but to make a move. 1,000. Just when Selena was about to bid, a voice suddenly sounded from behind. What's the situation? Selena was stunned for a moment. Is this guy crazy to buy a second-hand desk lamp for 1 million? Looking back, Selena was even more shocked, because at the moment, the one who appeared in front of her was none other than Iron Man Tony Stark. Because of World Integrate, Selena naturally knows about Iron Man Tony Stark. Even not long ago, Tony Stark attended a gala hosted by the wealthy Gotham City. Definitely, that's not the point. The point is that Tony Stark also wants the lamp that Suku is eyeing. Boss, what should I do? Selena looked at Suku and asked. The price of the desk lamp was directly raised by Tony Stark to a price of 1 million. She really couldn't bid the price. Suku didn't speak, but looked at Tony, who was walking towards the front of the auction with interest. To be honest, Tony was here, totally unexpected. He thought that Chunlong and his father would appear here, and he also thought that the Mafia would appear here. I even thought Dao Long would appear here, but he never expected that Tony would appear here. And obviously, there's a high probability that Tony knew about the spell, Otherwise, he wouldn't have spent 1 million to buy it. To confirm, Suku still said a number in Selina's ear. Selina's eyes widened instantly, her face full of disbelief. But seeing Suku's serious face, Selina finally gritted her teeth. 10 million. Selina spoke. What? Originally, when Tony called out 1 million, everyone present was stunned by the price. After all, the things auctioned here are only some second-hand furniture, not antiques or the like. A few hundred yuan is considered a sky-high price. As a result, you got a total of 1 million as soon as you came up, which is really outrageous. The host was so excited that he could hardly hold the lamp in his hand. After all, this is 1 million yuan, is fully 10,000 times what he quoted. But no one thought that even more outrageous things happened. Someone raised the price again and directly added to 10 million. Now everyone is dumbfounded. My God, 10 million. Are these guys serious? Why is this broken desk lamp worth 10 million? It's outrageous. In my opinion, this thing is not worth 100 yuan. The thinking of rich people is really strange. How many desk lamps do you have to buy for so much money? A bunch of lunatics. Along with the intense discussion among the crowd, Tony also looked over here. Obviously, he didn't expect that someone would bid 10 million to compete with him for this lamp. Tony was even more shocked when he saw that the bidder was actually a young girl. At the same time, the host is going crazy with joy. 10 million. 10 million. Is there anyone who has bid higher? If not, then this desk lamp belongs to that lady. The host shouted excitedly. 100 million. Tony spoke again. As soon as these words came out, everyone present was completely dumbfounded. Chapter 14 Robbery. Tony Sure Stark. Half a month ago, Tony got an ancient book by chance. The ancient book records a demon named Holy Lord and his 12 spells with various super abilities. Tony became interested for a moment and then started looking for information about the spell. Finally, he found the whereabouts of one of the charms. So what happened now? I thought that 1 million would definitely win the table lamp inlaid with the mouse charm, but I didn't expect someone to bid 10 million. But money was never an issue for Tony. Ever since, he directly bid 100 million, and this also drove everyone present into madness. The host was going crazy. An item with a starting price of 100 yuan actually sold for 100 million yuan. It's like hell. Boss. Selina looked at Suku helplessly, not knowing what to say for a while, because she actually knows Suku's property very well. 2 to 30 million may not be a problem for Suku, but 100 million, Suku really can't afford it. All right, she guessed right. Suku really doesn't have that much money. After all, as a demon, Suku really has no interest in money. Although he collected a lot of gold and diamonds when he was in hell, he couldn't directly use them as money. So next, Suku stood up directly. Let's go, Suku said to Selina. Let's go now. Selina couldn't believe it. Based on what she knows about Suku, she knows that it is impossible for Suku to give up what she wants so easily. Perhaps in Harley's view, Suku is just a superb surgeon and psychologist. But in Selina's view, Suku's identity is far more than that simple. When Selina was hunted down by dozens of enemies and was about to die on the spot, Suku appeared. It was just a snap of the fingers, and all the enemies fell asleep at that moment, leaving only Selina with a shocked face. That is, from that day on, Selina knew that Suku was not an ordinary person. How could such a person give up what he wanted so easily? But seeing that Suku really left, Selina had no choice but to follow. No one cared about their departure, because everyone was overwhelmed by the price of 100 million. The two returned to the car, and Selina looked at Suku and asked, "Boss, what are you going to do next?" Suku touched his chin, stared at a luxury car not far away, and said, "Robbery." "Who are you robbing?" Selina continued to ask. "Tony Stark," Suku replied. Hearing this name, Selina didn't know what to say. Although she knew that Suku would not give up what she wanted, she never thought that Suku wanted to rob Tony Stark. After all, that guy is not only a billionaire, but also a superhero. "Then I'll wait for you in the car." Although Selina likes to steal things occasionally, she really doesn't dare to rob Tony Stark. But then, Suku's words made her completely speechless. "I'm afraid you have to do it yourself," Suku said. "Why?" Selina was immediately dumbfounded, thinking, "Boss, are you stupid? I'm just a thief. How can I be Tony Stark's opponent?" But before Suku could answer, Tony Stark reappeared at the auction gate not far away. And in his hand is the desk lamp that was just photographed for 100 million yuan. The next second, Suku stretched out his hand and snapped his fingers. Almost instantly, Tony felt an inexplicable drowsiness hit him. He realized something was wrong, and when he was about to do something, he suddenly fell asleep. Everyone in Fong Yuan's hundreds of meters fell asleep together. Selina was speechless immediately. It turns out that the boss's so-called robbery is different from what she imagined. "Go," Suko urged. "Why don't you go?" Selina is not happy. "Because I'm your boss," Suka said calmly. "All right, there is no way to refute." Who made himself a hard-working worker. Selina got out of the car angrily, then walked quickly to Tony's side, picked up the desk lamp, and returned to the car. Suka reached out to take the desk lamp, took the mouse charm directly, and then handed the desk lamp to Selina. "Give it back to him." Selina was speechless, but as a hard worker, what can she do? So, Selina could only take the lamp angrily and put the lamp beside Tony. Immediately afterwards, the car started and sped away towards the distance. After a few minutes, Tony woke up slowly. "What's going on? Why did I faint just now?" Tony slowly got up while shaking his head vigorously. In the next second, he seemed to think of something and hurriedly looked down. Fine. The desk lamp he just bought for 100 million is still there. But upon closer inspection, Tony was instantly dumbfounded. The desk lamp is indeed there, but the mouse charm on the desk lamp is gone. What's the matter with Nima? What about Lao Tzu's spell? Tony stood on the street with a dazed look on his face. Chapter 15 absorbed the power of the rat charm. When Tony was in a daze, Selina was carefully observing the rat charm that Suka had just taken from the desk lamp. But after watching it for a long time, Selina still couldn't figure out what the use of this thing was. "Boss, what the hell is this?" Selina couldn't help asking. "This is called the rat charm, which can endow static power and allow non-living things to have life and mobility. It originally belonged to an ancient demon named Holy Lord. As long as Holy Lord gets him, he can be free." Suku told the truth. But obviously, Selina doesn't believe it at all. "Just make it up. What ancient demons are there? I don't believe it," Selina said, and returned the spell to Suku. Suku smiled slightly, but didn't say anything. "I just don't know. What would Selina's expression be if she knew that her boss was actually an ancient demon?" "Ding, I noticed the power of the rat charm. May I ask the host if it absorbs it?" At this moment, the sound of the system suddenly sounded. When Suko heard this, he was taken aback for a moment. Absorb the power of the rat charm? Interesting. But having said that, after all, the rat charm belonged to the Holy Master. If he absorbed it, wouldn't the Holy Master be unable to regain his freedom? As if sensing Suku's concerns, the system sounded again. Ding! There are two ways to absorb the system. One is direct absorption, and the other is copy absorption. Direct absorption will take away the original power of the item, but copying the absorption will not take away the original power of the item. Copy, absorb. Sure enough, having a system is a trick. Without the slightest hesitation, Suku said in his heart, "I choose to copy and absorb." As soon as the words fell, Suku felt a strange power appearing in his body. It was the power of the rat charm. Now, he finally possesses the power of the Holy Lord. And unlike the Holy Lord, the power he got cannot be taken away. I have to say, this is really a surprise. After sending Selina back to Gotham, Suku went straight to where the Holy Lord was. At the same time, the Holy Lord. "You guys are such a bunch of trash. It's been so long, and you haven't brought me a single charm. What use do I need you?" The Holy Master roared angrily at Walong and the others in front of him. "Holy Lord, we had already found a charm today, but it was snatched away by a guy named Chun Long. That guy is really difficult to deal with." Valen couldn't help but argue. The Holy Master gave them a spell locator yesterday, saying that he could take them to find the spell. According to the guidance of the spell locator, Valen and the others found the sheep charm on a moving train. As a result, as soon as I got it, A guy named Chen Long suddenly appeared and snatched the sheep charm. But the Holy Lord doesn't care about these. In the Holy Lord's view, failure is failure, and he doesn't want to know the reason for failure. Just when the Holy Lord was about to continue to say something, he suddenly stopped, because at the moment, the Lord suddenly sensed that a special force was approaching, and the master of this power is his brother, Devil of the Moon, Curse Blue. Wait, could it be that Zhu Lan already got the rat talisman? Thinking of this, the Holy Master no longer cared about teaching Hua Long and the others in front of him. My brother, it seems that you have got what I want. The Holy Master shouted excitedly. When Valen and the others heard this, they were immediately confused. They don't know what happened to the Holy Lord. But in the next second, a figure suddenly appeared at the door. It is Su Ke. Valen and the others were taken aback for an instant. Damn it, who are you? True, grab him. Don't let him get away. Accompanied by a messy sound, Valen and the others instantly set up their formation. It was obvious that they considered Su Ke as an enemy. But Su Ke didn't speak, just wave his hand casually. In the next second, Valen and the others felt their bodies sank suddenly, and an extremely powerful force suddenly acted on them. Plop! Without warning, everyone knelt on the ground in an instant. Valen and the others were shocked instantly, because they couldn't figure out what was going on. At this moment, the Holy Master spoke. Hualong, shut up. He's not an enemy. He's my brother. Demon of the Moon. Curse Lan. Welcome, my brother. Holy Lord's brother? Demon of the Moon? Hearing this, Valen and the others were instantly taken aback. What's the situation? The devil has brothers? The next second, Su Ke walked in. Her eyes were extremely red. At this moment, Valen and the others were almost scared to pee, because these eyes were so familiar to them. These are the eyes of the devil. Chapter 16, The Dragon Roars. The Lord is free. Respected Lord Devil, we didn't intend to offend you. We really didn't know you would come here. Please forgive our rudeness. Hua Long reacted instantly and immediately begged. You must know that this person in front of you is a devil, and unlike the sealed Holy Master, this one is a demon with complete strength. You can kill yourself in seconds by moving your fingers. He almost freaked out. At the same time, Leisu and the others hurriedly begged. Master Devil, we really didn't know it was you. Please forgive us. We don't dare anymore. Everyone is full of fear, lest Su Ke will kill them directly, because at the moment, the force acting on them almost broke their legs. But in the next second, this power disappeared instantly. Before they could react, a voice rang out. Get up. This is the first and only time. If there is another time, then you all will die. Sununtai kiskiviko, say it slowly. Don't worry. We promise there will be no next time. Valen and the others hurriedly made promises, and then struggled to get up. In just a short while, my legs are about to break. Su Ke ignored Hua Long and the others, and went directly to the Lord, then held out his hand. A spell suddenly appeared in front of the Holy Master. It's the mouse spell. Holy Lord, this is what I promised you before. Su Ke said slowly. Ah, my brother, thank you so much. Thank you for helping me get the rat charm. Now I'm finally free. The Holy Master roared excitedly. Without the slightest hesitation, the Lord directly manipulated the rat charm in Su Ke's hand to fly up, and then just fell into a groove of the coiling dragon statue. In an instant, the Holy Master felt a force begin to spread in the body until it filled the whole body. Roar! Accompanied by a deep roar, the Holy Lord's head began to move, and immediately afterward, so did his body. The Panlong statue began to burst out bursts of golden light, and in the golden light, a dragon was slowly revived. For a moment, the entire basement was filled with endless evil energy, as if the gate of hell had been opened. And amidst the strong golden light and endless devilish energy, a dragon figure was slowly appearing in front of everyone. This is Holy Lord? Valen was instantly shocked by this scene. Although the Holy Lord's Panlong statue has been stored in their family for hundreds of years, he has never seen the Holy Lord's real appearance. Until now, just when Valen was thinking, the figure of the dragon had already stepped out of the golden light. Immediately afterwards, Valen and the others saw an extremely burly and tall behemoth. I saw that he was more than 8 meters tall. His muscles all over his body were like a rock. His body was like a dragon's head, and his whole body was full of endless evil energy. The scarlet eyes seemed to be connected to hell, and one glance is extremely frightening. Just looking at it, Valen couldn't help swallowing his saliva, because this scene was so shocking. Finally, Lesu and the others behind him had already been frightened by this scene, but at the moment, the Holy Master was too lazy to pay attention to the younger brothers in front of him. He first moved his body to frighten him, and then shouted excitedly, "I'm finally free." Although he only regained his freedom and did not get all the 12 charms, for the Holy Master, this is already a very happy thing. Because as long as he regained his freedom, he could go find the 12 talismans himself, instead of relying on Hua Long and the others for everything. Definitely the most important point is that I finally have a part of the power, although the 12 talismans are also his own power. But not all the power. This body also contains endless power, not to mention his innate fire magic. Holy Lord, is it really you? At this moment, a trembling voice suddenly sounded, and the Holy Master looked down. It was Hua Long. However, in the sight of the Holy Lord, Valen is really a bit too small. Definitely, it can also be said that he is too big. Valen, kneel down to meet your master. The Holy Master looked at Valen and said in a cold voice, "Sure enough, it is the Holy Lord." Valen was amazed for a moment, and in the next second, he knelt on the ground on one knee. "Respected Master, congratulations on finally regaining your freedom," Varan said. Seeing this, Lesu and the others behind him also quickly knelt down on the ground. Originally, Hua Long never kneeled down to the Holy Lord. After all, in case of being killed by the Holy Master because of this, it would be too bad. After all, I still want to get the treasure of the Holy Master's Golden Rooster King. Definitely, at this moment, Valen doesn't know that the Holy Master has no intention of giving him the treasure of the Golden Rooster King at all. Chapter 17, Holy Lord and Wallen. Suku stood aside, with a look of disdain in her heart. For Valen and the others, the current Holy Lord is indeed a strong deterrent. But for him, the Holy Lord is just an empty shelf as long as he is willing. He can kill the Holy Lord in seconds. Definitely, I have to admit that the scene of the resurrection of the Holy Lord is still very bluffing. It's just that he's not in the mood or interested in watching the Holy Master scare Valen and the others. "Holy Lord, have you had enough trouble?" The cold voice resounded from Suku's mouth, and the Holy Master couldn't help trembling instantly. Obviously, the Lord also knows that it is okay to pretend in front of Valen and the others with his current strength. But if he wants to pretend in front of Suku, it is pure courting death. "Sorry, my brother, I just got free, so I'm a little excited." The Holy Master looked at Suku and said in a very humble tone. However, when they heard this, Valen and the others were instantly stunned, because they never imagined that even though the Holy Master had gained freedom, he would still be so humble in front of Suku. This is enough to prove that Suku's power is definitely far stronger than the Holy Lord. Thinking of this, Valen immediately swallowed nervously. A Holy Master almost killed him, but unexpectedly, another demon far stronger than the Holy Master came. It seems that his future will only be more difficult. "Valen, take your men out. I have something to discuss with my brother." At this moment, the Holy Master spoke again. "Ugh!" Valen dared not disobey the Holy Lord's order, and he was not interested in the conversation between the two demons. Immediately, Hua Long stood up with great effort, ready to leave here with his men. At the moment, Valen's leg is really hurting so much that he trembles when he walks. No way. Who made them accidentally offend Suku just now? Just as Hua Long and the others were about to leave here with their arms, a voice sounded abruptly, etc. It was none other than Suku who spoke. Hearing this voice, Valen and the others felt that the hairs all over their bodies were about to stand on end. But before they could say anything, Suku suddenly threw a handful of something on the ground. Things are shiny and shining brightly. It's a diamond, and it is a super diamond with a full thumb file size. This, While Long and the others saw their eyes light up, but they were still a little dazed, completely unable to understand what Suka meant. But Suka didn't bother to explain, just said coldly, "Take these things and get out." Now, no matter how stupid Long is, he still understands what Suka means. "Thank you, Lord Demon, for the reward." Without the slightest hesitation, Valen and the others threw themselves directly onto the ground and then greedily picked up the diamonds on the ground. Every diamond is top grade, and if sold, each diamond can be sold for at least 20 million US dollars. And there are dozens of such diamonds. It's really rich now, although they haven't obtained the treasure of the Holy Master's Golden Rooster King yet. These diamonds are also a fortune. "Go away." At this moment, the Holy Master spoke again, and his tone was quite angry. Valen carefully picked up the last diamond and then left with his younger brothers without looking back. For a while, only Su Ku and Shang Zhu were left here. "My brother, you shouldn't have rewarded them. They are only human beings, and even if there is no reward, they will do things for us," the Holy Master said with some dissatisfaction, his tone full of confidence. But Su Ku is too lazy to talk to the Lord. In the original plot of Chun Long's adventures, although the Lord also promised that Long would hand over the treasure of the Golden Rooster King to Long after collecting the 12 charms. But in the end, everyone knows that the Lord did not fulfill his promise in the end, and even almost killed Valen. It is also because of this that there is a famous saying, "My Holy Lord never keeps promises." In the final analysis, it was because the Holy Lord looked down on Valen from beginning to end, or more precisely, he looked down on human beings. In the eyes of the Holy Lord, human beings have always been his own slaves. As long as he gives an order, the slaves should complete the order without complaint. As for the slaves, the Holy Master felt that he did not need to keep any promises. Ever since, the Lord broke his promise. Definitely, the final fate of the Holy Master is really not very good. Similarly, Walloon's final fate was not very good. In the final ending of Chun Long's adventures, Long lost the only member of the Mafia, lost the wealth left by his ancestors, and lost everything. Then become a bus driver. When meeting Chun Long didn't even dare to look at Chun Long, because at this moment he has become a complete loser. But in the past, he was a man with wealth, status, power, and everything. The reason for this is because of the Holy Lord. To put it simply, Long was pitted by the Holy Master very badly. Chapter 18, the Holy Lord only wants to rule the world. Definitely, this has nothing to do with Su Ku. The reason why I gave Long diamonds just now was because of how pitiful Long was. And he has a lot of diamonds because in hell, these things are everywhere. Holy Lord, my patience has a limit. What exactly are you trying to say? Suka didn't want to argue with the Holy Master anymore and asked directly, "I want to invite you to rule this world together. My dear brother, with your help, we will definitely become the masters of this world," the Holy Master said excitedly. Su Ku was a little speechless because he had already guessed that the Holy Master would say so. Sure enough, no matter when, the Holy Master always wants to rule the world. To be honest, if the world we are in now is just a world of Chun Long's adventures, then Suka might consider working with the Lord to do something big and then rule the whole world. Even if this world still has the restriction rule of the balance of good and evil, Su Ku still has a way to forcibly break through this restriction. But obviously, this is unrealistic, because the world we are currently in is a big world that integrates the Marvel Universe and the DC Universe. The powerhouses in this world are far beyond the imagination of the Holy Lord. Let's not talk about other bigwigs in the level universe. Let's just take the strong ones on Earth as an example, like Marvel's Sorcerer Supreme, such as DC's Dr. Fate. These two guys are magicians who are proficient in spells, and their strength is no worse than that of the undead death god who sealed the demon back then. If you meet them, don't do anything to rule the world. I'm afraid they will be sealed in just one meeting. Definitely. Although Su Ku is not afraid of the seal, but to be honest, he may not be able to beat these two guys. After all, these magicians can basically overcome demons. Thinking of this, Suka felt somewhat helpless. You must know that his original strength is actually very strong, and it is beyond everyone's imagination. But during the thousands of years of being imprisoned in hell, he lost a lot of power. So in Suku's view, the idea that the Holy Lord wants to rule the world is really naive. So he shook his head directly. Holy Lord, this world has changed. It's not as simple as you imagined. I suggest you take a look at the changes in this world first, and then reconsider what you want to do. Anyway, if you want to rule the world, I will neither help you nor stop you. But if you can free the other siblings, then maybe I'll help you a little. Although Suku didn't want to get involved in the Holy Lord's mess. If the Holy Lord wanted to release the other 6 brothers and sisters, then Suku was still willing to help. After all, in the final analysis, he is also the boss of the 8 great demons. Even if he doesn't like other brothers and sisters, he should help them out of reason. As for whether they will die again after they are released from prison, then Suku doesn't care. Although Suku rejected the Lord's cooperation to rule the world, the Lord was not discouraged in the slightest. He thought it was because of his betrayal that Suku refused to believe him, but he dares to swear this time he really wants to invite Suku to rule the world together. But seeing Suku rejecting himself and mentioning other brothers and sisters, the Lord stopped discussing this topic. My dear brother, don't worry. After I get all the charms and restore my strength, I will open the Golden Rooster King treasure and get the Panka treasure box. At that time, we will definitely release other brothers and sisters. The Holy Lord promises. In fact, in the original plan of the Lord, he only wanted to invite Suku to rule the world together. As for the other brothers and sisters, stay in hell. But Suku rejected himself, so the Holy Master had to take a backup plan. The so-called backup plan is to use the Panka treasure box to open the gates of hell, and then release the other demons, and invite other demon brothers to rule the world together. Although Suku rejects him, the other siblings will definitely not reject him. Then good luck to you, Holy Lord. Facing the Holy Master, Suku really didn't want to say anything more. After saying hello, he left immediately. By the time I got back to Gotham, it was already midnight. Although I wasted the whole day because of the Holy Lord, it didn't matter. Because in a short time, the Holy Master shouldn't do anything outrageous. After all, the next main goal of the Holy Master is to find the remaining 12 talismans, so at most he will deal with the 13th district and Dad. Early the next morning, Gotham's most famous psychiatrist appeared again. But today, Suku didn't go to the clinic, but came to Arkham Asylum alone. Because today is the day he came here to help the prisoners with psychotherapy. But just after arriving at Arkham Asylum, Suku heard a message from the guards. Joker is jailbroken. Hearing this news, Suku was not too surprised, because in his opinion, Joker's jailbreak is basically commonplace. Whether in movies or comics, Joker has escaped from prison more than once. Arkham Asylum might be a place to hold someone else, but it can't hold Joker at all. Chapter 19, The Seriously Injured Joker. However, Joker is not the only one who needs psychological treatment in Arkham Asylum. Guys like scarecrows and double-faced people also need psychological counseling. So Suku just finished his work. But honestly, these guys are no match for Joker's evil. When he finished handling the work at the Arkham Asylum and returned to the clinic, he frowned instantly, because from a long distance, he saw a red, bloody handprint clearly visible on the wall at the entrance of the clinic. Looks like someone is looking for trouble. Thinking of this, Suku sneered instantly. Dare to make trouble for him in Gotham. It seems that this guy is quite courageous. Immediately afterwards, Suku opened the door and walked in. The next second, he saw Harley and Selina standing in the corner with some fear, and not far away, a man was lying there covered in blood. Seeing Suku appear, the man gave an extremely exaggerated smile. Hello, my friend. This guy is none other than the Joker. Although the appearance of Joker surprised Suku, Suku didn't immediately talk to Joker. Instead, he walked straight towards Harry and Selina in the corner. Are you two okay? Suku asked with concern. Seeing Suku appear, Harley's tense expression relaxed, and then he shook his head. Boss, we're fine. He didn't hurt us. He just didn't let us get out of here. Selina on the side also said, we're all fine, but boss, you'd better drive this guy away. In fact, If you want to fight alone, it is absolutely impossible for Joker to be Selina's opponent. After all, Joker is just a criminal with a high IQ, and his skills are very average. But then again, Joker's reputation is just too loud. This caused Selina to feel very stressed when facing the Joker. Plus, Harley is still on the sidelines. Selina can't make a move. After confirming that Selina and Harley were not injured, Suka looked at Joker beside him. It's a good thing you didn't attack them. Otherwise, you would be a dead man now. Suka said coldly, "Please, we are friends. I will not attack my friend's subordinates," Joker said with a smile. Suka looked back at Selina and Harley. "You guys clean up here, do what you have to do, and pretend nothing happened. Let him handle it with me." Selina and Harley nodded after hearing this, but they were no longer as scared as before. In their view, as long as Suku is around, no one can hurt them. Suka looked at Joker again. "Follow me." After saying this, Suka walked over to the office first. Joker followed, dragging his bloodied body. There is also an operating room inside the office, which Suku specially prepared for some supervillains. So far, this operating room has hosted many super criminals. Before Suku could speak, Joker consciously lay down on it. "Who beat you like this?" Suku asked while taking out the surgical tools. Joker didn't speak, just threw something on the ground casually. Suku took a look with surprise in his eyes, because this thing is actually a bat-shaped flying darts. And it seems that there is only one person in Gotham who can use bat flying darts. Bruce Wayne. That's Batman. Suka didn't speak, just checked the wound on Joker's body. It has to be said that this guy's injuries are quite serious. There were bruises all over his body, several broken ribs, and a wound on his chest where a knife had been drawn. The abdomen was almost pierced by flying darts, and the internal organs were also injured a lot. Suka checked, then looked at Joker and asked, "How the hell did you offend that guy? Looks like he wants your life." According to the wounds on Joker's body, Suka judged that Batman definitely wanted to kill Joker, because several wounds were very fatal. Ghost knows what happened to that guy. Joker looked puzzled and said, "This guy seems to have changed a lot recently. Every time he fought against him before, he would never kill him, but this time, I feel that he really wants my life." Suka looked funny. "What? Are you also afraid of death?" Joker looked at Suku again, showing an extremely weird smile. "It's not death I'm afraid of. It's oblivion." Suka didn't continue to say anything, just shook his head, and then helped Joker deal with the wound. In the DC universe, the Joker has always been Batman's nightmare. For Batman, Joker is a super difficult existence because he is crazy enough and never afraid of death. But Joker also has his own fears. In an accident, Joker was poisoned by the Scarecrow, which made him discover what really terrified him. That is forgetting. Chapter 20 Batman is crazy. As the craziest existence in Gotham City, Joker is known to everyone in Gotham City, but he feared that months after his death, no one would remember him. People will slowly forget his existence and turn to another newly rising villain. This is unacceptable to him. He can die, but before he dies, he will become a nightmare that the entire Gotham will never forget. This kind of thinking is actually quite a change, but considering that Joker is a changed guy, it seems normal. The injuries on Joker's body were serious and fatal, but for Suku, it was obviously not a problem. After Suku's treatment, Joker's injuries have almost recovered. He stood up and moved his body, then praised Suku. "I didn't expect that you're not only a good psychiatrist, but also a good surgeon." Facing Joker's praise, Suku just said lightly, "Be careful in the future. Don't be really killed by someone." For Joker, Suku actually has no idea. But the existence of this guy will make Gotham more chaotic. And as a demon, chaos will bring power to Suku. So he can't die yet. When Joker heard this, he just smiled and left. Watching Joker leave, Harley and Selina were relieved. At this moment, Suku suddenly thought of something, and then looked at Harley, who was still a little terrified. "Harley, what do you think of that guy?" Suka asked with a smile. You must know that in the original plot of the DC universe, Harley and Joker are a pair of happy friends, and he wants to know what Harley thinks of Joker. Unexpectedly, when hearing this, Harley shrank her neck in fright. "Boss, that guy is a complete lunatic. If possible, don't let him come here in the future," Harley said, still a little shocked. When Suka heard this, he immediately laughed. Sure enough, Harley's reaction was exactly what he thought. In DC's original world, Harley's nature is not bad. It's only because he came into contact with Joker and was bewitched by Joker that he became Harley Quinn. It's just obvious that this kind of thing will never happen again. I thought the Joker incident was just an accident, but what happened next was a bit unexpected. In the next few days, badly injured villains continued to come to Suka for treatment, and these guys were all seriously injured without exception. And it was none other than Batman who caused such harm to them. That's right, Batman is crazy. For a time, the whole Gotham was panicked. You must know that in the past, although Batman would beat them, it was usually enough and then threw them to the Gotham City Police Department. Finally, in Arkham Asylum. This is basically routine, but now, after Batman finds them, he directly beats them violently, and it is the kind that beats them to the point of death. And I don't know why, Batman's various abilities have been inexplicably enhanced, which makes them completely powerless to parry. Batman is scarier now than ever. For all the villains, this is simply a nightmare. Although no one knows why Batman has such a change, Suka knows exactly what is going on. Needless to say, this should be the role of the Black Aura I used to repair Batman's heart before. Although Black Aura repaired the wound on Batman's heart and resurrected his life, Black Aura is also affecting Batman's thinking at the same time, and let his soul begin to tend towards darkness. Even if Batman is originally righteous, his heart will start to blacken under the influence of Black Aura. That's why Suka said before that Batman's soul belongs to the devil. No one can maintain their original justice under the influence of Black Aura, and Batman is no exception. Overall, Suka is very satisfied with her masterpiece, and he knows that Batman's soul will continue to blacken until he completely becomes a real Dark Knight. A Dark Knight who kills. Suka is really looking forward to it. A few days later, Suka received an invitation from New York City. Just glanced at it. Suka immediately threw his side. The invitation was simply that someone had a medical dinner in New York City and he was invited to attend. But Suka has never been interested in this kind of thing, so he doesn't plan to go at all. Chapter 21 Invitation from Doctor Strange. Harley happened to pass by and curiously picked up the invitation letter on the ground. After seeing the above content clearly, Harley said excitedly, "Boss, are you going to attend this dinner party? Take me with you, okay?" Suka glanced at Harley and said helplessly, "What's the use of going to a shitty dinner party? Broken dinner?" Harley widened his eyes when he heard this, pointed to the signature on the invitation letter, and said, "Boss, please see clearly. This is not some bad dinner, but a medical dinner hosted by Stephen Strange, the most famous and top surgeon in the United States." Stephen Strange? Doctor Strange? Suka was slightly taken aback when he heard this, and then reached out to take the invitation letter in Harley's hand. Sure enough, the signature on the invitation letter was Stephen Strange. That is Doctor Strange. When Suka saw this name, he was even less interested because the one who invited him was the future Sorcerer Supreme. Demons and Sorcerer Supreme are always on opposite sides. If he sees Stephen and can't help but kill him, then Ancient One will definitely make a move. Isn't this just looking for trouble for himself? Ever since, Suka still didn't plan to go, etc. But suddenly at this moment, a special idea popped up in Suka's mind. As we all know, Stephen became Sorcerer Supreme only because of a car accident. The car accident caused Stephen's hands to no longer be able to use a scalpel to work, which made him lose his original life. In order to heal his hands, Stephen sought famous doctors from all over the world in vain. In despair, he could only visit the legendary magician Ancient One on the Himalayas. "Hope to heal my hands with the power of magic." But everyone knows the final outcome. Stephen Ancient One took a fancy to him and taught him how to use spirit and spells to cast magic. In the process of learning magic, Stephen's hands gradually recovered. Then, Stephen incarnated as Doctor Strange to guard the world, and after Ancient One was killed, he took over his position and became the new Sorcerer Supreme. Definitely, these are the original plot, but if I can prevent this car accident, or help Stephen heal his hands after the car accident, So Stephen will not become Sorcerer Supreme? This thing seems to be messed up. Thinking of this, Suka suddenly laughed. Boss, what are you laughing at? At this moment, Harley's voice suddenly sounded. When Suka came back to his senses, he saw Harley looking at him suspiciously. Nothing. Suku shook his head and then said, Originally, I'm not planning to go to any dinner party, but since you want to go so much, then I'll accompany you there. Harley was instantly excited when he heard this. Then he hugged Suku's face and kissed her. Boss, you are so kind. But in the next second, she realized that what she did just now was a bit too delicate. Just when she was about to say something to ease the atmosphere, Selena walked over suddenly. What's wrong with you? Selena looked at the embarrassed Harley with some doubts, because the look on Harley's face was just too weird. No, nothing. Harley ran out while talking, seeing Selena's expression of bewilderment. What happened to her? Selena looked at Suku again. Suku touched the mark left on his face. Although he was very happy in his heart, he still shook his head. I don't know. Maybe it's uncomfortable. By the way, I'm taking Harley to a medical dinner in New York tomorrow. Do you want to go with me? Medicine dinner? Selena shook her head when she heard this. No. What's the point of going to a dinner party for a group of doctors? If it's a dinner party for rich people, maybe I'll think about it. It's fine if you don't go. Let's treat it as a day off for you tomorrow. Seeing Selena's refusal, Suku didn't force her either. Although the dinner was at night, it was considered that Gotham was a long way from New York. So Suku came to the place where Selena and Harley lived early at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon the next day and waited. After making the phone call, Harley soon appeared in front of Suku. Today's Harley looked very beautiful, and for today's dinner, she specially wore a white dress, which made Suku couldn't help but take a second look. Noticing that Suku's gaze was looking towards him, Harley felt a sweetness in his heart. You know, because of yesterday's incident, she almost didn't sleep all night, thinking wildly all night. Her mind was full of Suku. She was worried that Suku would be angry because of what happened yesterday. But now it seems that Suku is not angry. Thinking of this, Harley's heart became even sweeter. Boss, let's go. Harley sat in the co-pilot and said with a smile. Suku smiled slightly, and with the sound of the engine of the sports car, they started towards their destination. Don't doubt it. This sports car is the one I got from the Wayne estate earlier. Previously belonged to Bruce Wayne, but now it belongs to Suku. Because the journey was far away, Suku turned on the radio directly. Originally, I planned to listen to the song, but unexpectedly, I heard a special piece of news. Chapter 22 Scarlet Witch. Wanda, as far as I know, the former hero of the United States, the captain of the United States, was found under the ice in the Arctic. After 70 years of slumber, he has woken up today. It's a miracle in the world. As the world's first superhero, we are looking forward to what kind of surprise the captain of the United States will bring us. Hearing this news, Suka felt nothing in his heart, because as early as when he traveled to this world, he had already determined the timeline of this world. He came around 2011, and now it's 2012, when the Avengers Alliance once started. According to the original plot, Thanos will send Loki to lead Chitauri's army to attack the Earth soon. The Battle of Avengers Alliance 1 will also officially start. Definitely, this has nothing to do with Suku, because he didn't want to get involved in this matter. On the other hand, Harley on the side was a little excited when he heard the news. I didn't expect that the captain of the United States is still alive. Harley said in amazement. What? You know him? Suku asked with a smile. How weird that Harley from the DC universe should have heard of Captain the United States from the Marvel universe. Definitely got it. Don't you know the Captain of the United States? Harley asked curiously. Suku didn't answer Harley's question, just shook his head with a smile. Alas, it seems that the world is more chaotic than I imagined. Immediately afterwards, accompanied by a burst of singing, the two stopped paying attention to the news that the Captain of the United States had woken up. An hour later, they finally arrived at the address on the invitation letter. I saw that this is a 5-star hotel located in the busiest area in the center of New York City, and there are people dressed in gorgeous costumes everywhere at the entrance of the hotel. Obviously, Stephen invited quite a few people. When Suku appeared at the door, a waiter came over immediately, Suka handed over the key directly and took Harley out of the car. This is the hotel's parking attendant, who is responsible for helping guests park their cars. And it's clear that Suku's sports car has attracted a lot of attention right away. After all, Bruce Wayne's vision is not covered. This luxury car is at least a limited edition of tens of millions. But Suka didn't bother to pay attention to these people. He took Harley's arm and was ready to go in. But at this moment, a familiar yet unfamiliar figure suddenly appeared in Suku's sight. I saw that she looked about 20 years old with long brown soft hair, and she looked very handsome. She is Wanda. That is the famous Scarlet Witch. Suku was slightly taken aback, because to be honest, he really didn't expect to see Wanda here. And at the moment, Wanda looked a little anxious. She mixed in behind a group of people and wanted to follow in, but because of the plain clothes on her body, she was stopped by the security guard at the door. "Sorry, miss, I need to see your invitation letter," the security guard at the door said. When Wanda heard this, she suddenly panicked. Obviously, she didn't have any invitation letter at all. She tried to break in, but how could the security at the door let her in? "Miss, I need to see your invitation letter. If not, please leave here. Otherwise, we will be impolite." The security guard spoke again. At the same time, 2 security guards surrounded him. Almost instantly, Suku sensed a special magical wave. And this wave of magic is coming from Wanda. Obviously, Wanda is angry. "This lady came with me. Don't make things difficult for her." At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. It was none other than Suku who spoke. "No way, I just came to a banquet. Suku doesn't want to see origin magic power explode here." When the security guards heard this, they immediately looked at each other in dismay. They are not fools. They definitely know that the reason why Suku said this is purely to help this girl out. But looking at the supercar behind Suku and the invitation letter in his hand, they knew that Suku's identity must be very unusual. They really don't need to offend this kind of person because of such a trivial matter. Ever since, the security guard smiled and said, "Okay, sir, please come in." Suku didn't speak, but with one arm, he held Harley beside him, and with the other, he pushed Wanda, who was at a loss. Chapter 23, Harley is jealous. As soon as she entered the hotel, Wanda looked at Suku gratefully and said, "Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing me in." You must know that if Suku hadn't shot just now, Wanda really didn't know what she would do. Because her magic is extremely unstable and difficult to control, it almost exploded just now. "You're welcome. But can you tell me why you came here?" Suka asked. He always felt that Wanda would not come here for no reason. When Wanda heard this, she was a little confused at first, but when she thought that Linyu had just helped her, she finally said, "I came here to find my brother." "Your brother? Quicksilver?" Linyu was even more puzzled when he heard this. Because he didn't know why Kaing was here, just when he wanted to continue asking, Wanda seemed to sense something and said, "Sorry, I'm going to find him. Thank you for your help." Immediately afterwards, without waiting for Suku to respond, Wanda ran up to the second floor. Seeing Wanda's leaving figure, Suku looked thoughtful, because the current plot seems to be different from what he knows. Does it look good? At this moment, a sour voice suddenly sounded. Suku looked back and saw Harley looking at him with jealousy. This little girl, why is everyone jealous? But he didn't bother to explain, so he put his arm around Harley's waist. "Let's go." After saying this, Suka led Harley into the venue. He had just held Harley's arm before, so Harley didn't think anything was wrong. But now, Suku directly grabbed Harley's waist. This kind of behavior is really ambiguous. For a moment, Harley couldn't help thinking about it again, and he didn't care about Wanda before. Following the flow of people, the two soon arrived at the banquet hall. I have to say that the decoration here is indeed very luxurious. The banquet hall is as magnificent as a palace. Moreover, the people who appeared here at the moment were all dressed in formal attire and formal attire. And obviously, almost all the people who come here are doctors from various professions. Suka looked around. Sure enough, he didn't recognize anyone. This is actually quite normal, because he has always been alone and has never dealt with anyone in this industry, so naturally he doesn't know these people. But in this case, why did Steven know himself? This is where Suku is really curious, because to be honest, he really hasn't dealt with Steven. Although he didn't know anyone here, it was obvious that Harley, a psychiatrist, knew quite a few doctors. At this moment, Harley's eyes were shining, and then he introduced everyone here to Suko. Did you see that fat man over there? He is a famous psychiatrist, and he was my idol. Definitely, my idol now is you. And that tall man, he is a very famous surgeon and has written many professional books. There's also that skinny guy. He is an expert in the field of heart and has a high level of research in this area. As Harley was talking, she suddenly felt something was wrong because Suku didn't respond to her. Looking back, Harley saw Suku's helpless expression. The next second, Harley stopped saying anything because she knew that Suku was not interested in these people at all. How about we go out for a walk? Harley suggested. Although Suku is just her boss, Harley suddenly has a special feeling for Suku. It was this feeling that made Harley pay special attention to Suku's feelings. If Suku doesn't like something, she doesn't like it either. But when Suku heard this, he laughed. Didn't you always want to know Steven? How can we go without seeing him? Besides, he invited us here. At least he should express his gratitude, right? When Harley heard this, his heart was instantly moved. Definitely, Suku actually has other meanings, but it's just not easy to tell Harley. Soon, Suku saw a familiar figure not far away. It was Steven. That is Dr. Strange. It's just that at the moment, he was surrounded by a large group of people, enjoying the praise of everyone. Obviously, Steven is the most dazzling existence here. Definitely, this is actually a very normal thing, because in the field of surgery, Steven is a top existence. Definitely, in front of himself, Steven is still not enough to see. At this moment, Steven also saw Suko. After greeting the people around him, he walked over with a smile. Chapter 24 Steven. If you get into a car accident, you can come to me. Hello, Mr. Su. To be honest, I really didn't expect you to come. Steven smiled and stretched out his hand. Suku's arrival surprised him a little. Hello. Thank you for your invitation. Suku smiled and held out her hand. Hi. My name is Harley, and I'm an intern. Harley smiled and introduced himself. Hello. Steven greeted with a smile. Then, at Steven's invitation, the three of them came to a quiet place and sat down on the sofa. Suku went straight to the point and said, I'm curious. How do you know me? You must know that Suku has always been very low-key. Even if he occasionally comes to New York to help some villains perform surgery, he has never been too public. So he was really curious how Steven knew him. When Steven heard this, he immediately laughed and then directly said name. Jean Bin. Jean Bing? Hearing this name, Suku suddenly realized, because he once helped Kim and perform an operation. Definitely, the person who performed the operation was not Jean Bin, but Jean Bin's son, Richard Faith. At that time, Richard was assassinated and his life was hanging by a thread. When she was about to die, Suku appeared. Suku used his power to save Richard, and thus became Jean Bing's benefactor. The reason why Steven knew his name from Jean Bing was probably because Steven had also performed surgery on Jean Bing. Just thinking about it, Steven suddenly spoke. To be honest, when Jean Bing's son was assassinated, he found me first. But with an injury like that, I knew I couldn't save him, so I turned him down. I thought the child was going to die, but I never thought that he survived. I'm really curious. How on earth did you do it? At this moment, Steven looked serious. In fact, he didn't dare to say some things because when he saw Richard was actually close to death. Faced with such a situation, he couldn't perform the operation at all because he knew that after failure, Jean would definitely kill himself. So he rejected Jean Bing, and Jean Bing didn't say much and left with Richard directly. Unexpectedly, Richard was finally saved by Suko. In Steven's view, this is simply impossible. But that's how it happened. What's even more outrageous is that according to my own knowledge, Suku's real identity is a psychiatrist. It's even more outrageous that a psychiatrist can actually perform such an incredible surgical operation. He desperately wanted to know what was going on. However, looking at Steven with an expectant face, Suku just smiled slightly. What if I tell you that this is my innate ability? Innate ability? Steven laughed instantly when he heard this. He definitely doesn't believe this kind of nonsense anymore, There are people who are born with the ability to perform surgery, and they still rescue people who are destined to die. This is simply nonsense. Steven, if you get hurt in the future and you can't handle it yourself, you can come and find me. As long as you still have breath, I can definitely heal you intact. Whether it's a broken limb, I can help you heal. Tsukasai said pointedly. He almost told Steven directly that he will suffer a car accident in the future and his hands will not be able to return to normal. No way, since he intends to prevent Steven from becoming the Sorcerer Supreme. Then he can only impress Steven first. In this way, even if Steven had another car accident later, the first thing he would think of would be himself instead of Kumar Taj. But obviously, these words seemed a bit inexplicable to Steven. It's even a bit of a curse. But fortunately, as a doctor, Steven doesn't care about such things. And he thought it was a little ridiculous, because he himself is a superb surgeon and is the top existence in this field. Even if you are really injured in the future, there is no need to go to Suku for treatment. But out of politeness, he nodded in agreement. Thank you for your kindness. Steven, come here. At this moment, someone not far away shouted Steven's name. Steven glanced at it, and then said to Suku apologetically, I'm sorry, I'll go over there for a while. Please do what you want. I hope you had a good time. Please, Suka said with a smile. Immediately afterwards, Steven left. For a while, only Suku and Harley were left here. Chapter 25 Wanda and Quicksilver. At this moment, Harley suddenly asked with a look of surprise, Boss, have you really saved Jean Bing's son? That's right. Suka nodded. There was nothing to hide from Harley. But I remember that Jean should be a bad guy, right? Why do you always like to deal with bad guys? Whether it's the previous Joker or Deathstroke, or Jean Bin, they are not good people. Harley asked suspiciously. Hearing this, Suka felt a little funny in his heart, thinking that if I hadn't met you earlier, you would have become a supervillain yourself, but there was no way to say those words. So, Suka raised his hand and patted Harley on the head. Then he said, Adults, children don't care so much. Cut, I'm not a child. Harley rolled his eyes and said, looking down in front of him again, not small at all. Suka followed Harley's gaze and understood clearly. Is indeed not small. Immediately afterwards, just as he was about to express his opinion on this, he suddenly noticed another energy fluctuation on the second floor. It is the origin magic power energy since before. It's Wanda. Looks like I need to check it out. Before Suku could make a move, Harley beside him seemed to see something and said with surprise on his face, Boss, I have a good friend over there. Can I go over and say hello? Suka followed Harley's line of sight and saw a girl sitting there waving at Harley. It happened that Suku also wanted to go to the second floor to have a look, so he nodded randomly and said, You go, I just want to go somewhere else. Hearing this, Harley immediately ran overexcitedly. Suka didn't have any hesitation, so he turned around and went up to the second floor. The first floor is the banquet hall, and the second floor is a room specially prepared for guests to rest. But at this moment, almost all the people are in the banquet hall on the first floor, so there are not many people on the second floor. Along the way, Suka only saw one or two waiters. Following the wave of magic, Suka soon came to the door of a room. Before he got close, he heard a quarrel coming from inside. Pietro, it's wrong for you to do this. You know, we can't do this. I've grown up. I don't need you to teach me how to do it. I am your sister. I must take care of you. Linyu stood at the door, a little speechless. Apparently, Wanda has tracked down his brother, Quicksilver, and the conversation between them seems to be getting a little heated. Although it is really not suitable for an outsider to appear in this kind of scene, but realizing that the energy in Wanda is getting stronger and stronger, Suka finally knocked on the door. Boom, boom, boom. After a brief silence, Wanda's voice sounded. Oh, it's me, the person who brought you in just now, remember? Suka said. There was another silence in the room, but soon, the door of the room was opened. Immediately afterwards, Suku saw Wanda, and beside Wanda stood a boy with silver hair, who was Quicksilver. Unlike Wanda, Quicksilver was staring at him warily at the moment. What's the matter with you? Wanda asked, although she is very grateful to Suku for bringing her here. But she really didn't like Suku interrupting the conversation between their siblings. Seeing this, Suku said it directly. Although I don't know why you guys are arguing. If you keep arguing, everyone will notice you. You, so what? Before Suku finished speaking, Quicksilver shouted at the side. Suka glanced at Quicksilver and was not angry, just smiled and said, "It's not that bad. It's just that someone who steals will be caught. You know what I mean?" When Quicksilver heard this, his face instantly became ugly, because just now he used his super ability to steal a lot of things, all of which are now in his backpack. The quarrel between him and Wanda is also because of this incident. Wanda thinks that Quicksilver shouldn't use his ability to steal things, but Quicksilver thinks that they can't live anymore. So what's wrong with stealing something? It's just that they didn't expect to be discovered by Suku. Seeing the nervous Quicksilver, Suku spoke again. "Don't worry, I'm not here to catch you." But when Quicksilver heard this, he immediately became disdainful. "Want to catch me? Try it if you have the ability," Quicksilver said with a sneer. In the next second, a silver-white light flashed, and Quicksilver instantly disappeared in front of Suku. However, just as he was about to leave from the door, he didn't know what was going on. An unbelievably powerful force suddenly acted on him, making him stop at the door abruptly. What happened? Quicksilver was shocked instantly. At the moment, he only felt that the double push was so heavy that he couldn't even lift it, let alone run. Chapter 26: Wanda's Origin Magic Power. "Wanda, what are you doing?" Quicksilver yelled angrily, thinking Wanda did it. However, upon hearing this, Wanda looked puzzled. "What are you talking about? I didn't do anything." Wanda said, "You didn't do it? Then why can't I move?" Quicksilver got a little angry. He felt that Wanda was playing himself. But in the next second, Wanda seemed to think of something and then looked at Suku. "You did it?" Wanda asked. "That's right." Suku nodded and admitted generously. In front of normal people, Suku would not easily show off his strength, but it is obvious that neither Quicksilver nor Wanda are normal people. "Who are you?" For a split second, Wanda became vigilant. Red light flashed in both eyes. Origin magic power began to brew. "I forgot to introduce myself just now. My name is Suku, and I am a psychiatrist," Suku said with a smile. "Psychologist?" When Wanda heard this, she was immediately annoyed, because she felt that Suku was playing with herself. At this moment, Quicksilver at the side finally reacted. "Wanda, he must have come to catch us. We can't be caught by him," Quicksilver shouted. When Wanda heard this, there was no more hesitation in her heart. In the next second, a powerful energy was instantly used, sweeping towards Suku. In an instant, Suku was surrounded by red energy. Is Wanda's Origin Magic Power Energy. Ding! I noticed the Origin Magic Power Energy. May the host absorb it. At this moment, the sound of the system suddenly sounded. Suku didn't rush to absorb the Origin Magic Power Energy, but felt it with interest. In the end, he was a little disappointed because this energy was too weak to cause him the slightest damage at all. "Absorb it," Suku confirmed in his heart. In the next second, the Origin magic power around him disappeared in an instant, and Wanda looked shocked, because Wanda has no idea what the hell is going on. Likewise, Quicksilver was stunned. Taking advantage of the moment when Wanda and Quicksilver were confused, Suku directly invaded Quicksilver's brain. In the next second, Suku finally knew what was going on. It turns out that not long ago, Wanda and Quicksilver just escaped from a genetic laboratory, and the black hand behind this genetic laboratory is HYD Array. In order to avoid the pursuit of HYD Array, they have been running around. But in this world, money is needed for everything. So Quicksilver sneaked into the hotel, prepared to steal something, and continued on the run. But Wanda thinks this is wrong, and it is easy to go on the road. So she followed Quicksilver here, trying to stop him. And then, the scene that happened in front of you. Suku rubbed his chin, feeling that the plot seemed a bit wrong, because according to his understanding, what Wanda and Quicksilver are currently encountering should happen after the captain of the United States to Winter Soldier, right? According to Marvel's original plot, after the end of the Avengers Alliance, Hydra lurking in the S.H.I.E.L.D. room got Loki's scepter and then used the mind gem on the scepter to conduct some special experiments. And Wanda and Quicksilver became guinea pigs for this experiment. Inspired by mind gem, they awakened a special ability. Among them, Quicksilver has gained amazing speed, and Wanda has gained a series of super abilities such as energy manipulation, telepathy, and flight. Definitely, some of these abilities come from Mind Gem, and some of them come from Wanda originally's mutant gene. I have to say, the world is really chaotic. Immediately afterwards, seeing that Wanda was going to continue to do something, Suka spoke again. Believe me, I am not your enemy. If you want, I can find you a place to live and avoid Hydra's pursuit. Why should we trust you? Quicksilver said coldly. He doesn't believe Suku at all. However, Suku just smiled slightly and then looked at Wanda at the side. Wanda, you should know how to use telepathy. You can see if I'm lying. The spiritual power of demons has always been very strong. Even if Professor X comes, he can't probe into Suku's inner thoughts unless Suku himself is willing. When Wanda heard this, he couldn't help but hesitate. But in order to find out what was going on, Wanda still used telepathy to probe Suku's brain. After a moment, Wanda looked at Quicksilver. He didn't lie. He really wanted to help us, and he was far stronger than us. When using telepathy to probe Suku's brain just now, Wanda tried to control Suku's thoughts. As a result, she found that she couldn't do it at all. Because Suku's thinking is like a vast ocean to her, her telepathy doesn't have the slightest effect at all. This shocked her greatly. Her intuition told her that the man in front of her was not someone they could fight against. If the other party really came to catch them, then they have no power to resist at all. Chapter 27: Gravity and Gravity. At the same time, after hearing Wanda's words, Quicksilver's expression also became serious, because he knew that Wanda would not joke about such things. Why are you helping us? Wanda still couldn't help asking. Why? Definitely because you are Wanda, Suka said in his heart. But definitely this cannot be said. Just when Suka wanted to continue to say something, a window in the room exploded violently, and even the surrounding walls were destroyed. In the next second, two tall men suddenly appeared in front of them. Oh no, it's the super soldier of 9 fighters. Wanda couldn't help shouting. Super soldier? Same as Winter Soldier? When Suku heard this, he instantly regained his energy. But Wanda and Quicksilver next to them were extremely nervous, because they know Hydra has found them. The purpose of the 2 super soldiers is very clear. They are here for Wanda and Quicksilver. So they ignored Suku at the side and walked towards Wanda and Quicksilver. Wanda and Quicksilver instantly assumed a fighting form, and at the same time, the origin magic power on Wanda emerged again. But before they could do anything, a strange picture appeared in front of them. I didn't know what was going on, but the 2 super soldiers in front of me suddenly froze in place. The next second, they knelt on the ground suddenly, and then the whole body continued to compress, shape-shifting, until the whole body turned into a lump of flesh. Blood was spilled all over the ground in an instant. For a while, the scene was extremely bloody. Watching Wanda and Quicksilver almost threw up. What happened? Quicksilver was dumbfounded for an instant. At the moment, he was already trembling with fright because the scene in front of him had surpassed his cognition. Although Wanda is also very scared, she is obviously much better than Quicksilver. Immediately afterwards, she looked at Suku. Is this what you did? But at the moment, Suku is too lazy to answer Wanda's words. Go to this place and wait for me. I will come soon. With Suku speaking, an address suddenly appeared in Wanda's mind. Wanda wasn't too surprised because she just found out that Suku also has telepathy ability. Definitely, what Wanda doesn't know is that Suku's ability is not telepathy, but the innate ability of demons. Wanda wanted to say something, but the next second, her body suddenly floated up. Then look back and see that Quicksilver did the same. Before they could react, they had already floated out of the window. Immediately afterwards, looking at the 2 lumps of meat on the ground, Suku smiled with satisfaction. And the reason why there is such an effect is definitely not because of gravity. All along, Suku has been developing her own power. He unexpectedly discovered that as long as his own gravitational force spreads to a certain range, he can control the gravitational force within this range. Gravity plus gravity. With these 2 powers in hand, Suku is almost invincible because any enemy can't even stand firmly in front of him. What? You said you can fly? No need to stand? Old Iron. Find out about gravity. With the gravity of the whole Earth on you, you fly one for me to see. If you don't press out your internal organs, I will lose. Now, the Earth seems to be better destroyed, because he no longer needs to go to the moon to change the gravitational force. As long as there is a thought, the gravitational force and the gravitational force are exerted at the same time, and the moon will directly hit the Earth. Definitely, as a demon who just wants to live in this world, Suka currently has no such plan. Immediately afterwards, Suka tidied up her clothes a little and went back to the first floor while no one was there. At this moment, the noise on the second floor has already attracted the attention of the hotel security staff. After all, the two Hydra just broke in through the window. So when Suku went downstairs, dozens of security guards went straight to the second floor. Suku ignored these guys, but quietly returned to the original position and calmly drank the red wine in his hand. He even raised his glass and said hello to Harley, who was chatting with friends not far away. But soon, the hotel's alarm was sounded. The banquet instantly became extremely chaotic, and everyone rushed to escape. Suku also took the opportunity to leave here with Harley. Harley was still in shock until the sports car drove away from the hotel. Immediately afterwards, she looked at Suku and asked, "Boss, what's going on?" "I'm not sure as well." Suku shook his head and said, "After all, he can't tell Harley that the reason for this is because he killed two Hydra super soldiers?" Harley was still a little curious, but soon she didn't care much, because at the moment, she found that the route they took seemed a bit wrong. Seems to be going in the exact opposite direction. Chapter 28, Are You a Mutant? "Boss, where are we going now? This doesn't seem to be the way back to Gotham, does it?" Harley asked with some doubts. Suku smiled and said, "I won't go back tonight. We'll stay in Nuyo for one night, and we'll go back tomorrow." Stay for one night? When Harley heard this, he didn't know what to think for a moment, and his face suddenly turned red. Suka glanced at Harley, a little speechless, wondering what this little girl was thinking. Soon, they came to the wealthy area of New York City. There are independent villas everywhere here, which is the place where only rich people in Nuyo can live. Suku also has a house here, but he didn't buy it, but Jinbin gave it to him. After Suku saved Jinbin's son Richard, Jinbin gave him a villa and wanted him to settle in New York City, but was rejected by Suku because Suku still prefers the chaotic place of Gotham. But this villa has been reserved for Suku, so that it is convenient for Suku to live in when he comes over. When Suku came to the door of the villa, he instantly sensed the aura of two people in the room. Needless to say, this is Wanda and Quicksilver, of course. Suku smiled slightly. Unexpectedly, these two guys actually came. How did Suku know that Quicksilver and Wanda didn't want to come? Because they just saw the power of Suku, and Suku's power made them feel scared. But considering that I didn't notice any malice in Suku's mind before, Suku seemed to really want to help them. Wanda ended up here with Quicksilver. So, when Suku took Harley into the living room, he saw Wanda and Quicksilver waiting for him. Harley was stunned for a moment because she didn't know why Wanda was here and why there was a boy beside Wanda. Just when she was curious, Suku spoke first. "Harley, this is Wanda. And his brother Pietro. Wanda, Pietro, this is Harley." Suku briefly introduced the two sides. "Hello." Harley was the first to say hello. Wanda and Quicksilver greeted each other, although a little stiff. "Harley, you go upstairs first. I have something to talk to them about. It will be done right away." Suku patted Harley on the shoulder and said, although Harley was curious about why Suku wanted to help Wanda and Quicksilver, she immediately went upstairs after hearing what Suku said. For a while, only Suku and Wanda were left in the huge living room. Suku sat down on the sofa casually and greeted Wanda and Quicksilver. "Please sit down. Don't be too reserved. There are no outsiders here." But Wanda and Quicksilver didn't dare to sit down at all. They just looked at Suku nervously. Finally, Wanda spoke again. "Who the hell are you?" "Mutant." Wanda asked out the doubts in her heart, and she was really more and more curious about Suku. "Mutant?" When Suku heard this, he suddenly laughed. "I'm neither a mutant nor a human. My identity is beyond your imagination. But don't worry, I have no malice towards you. I protected you just now, didn't I? In this case, why do you bother with my identity?" When Wanda heard this, she fell silent for a moment, because what Suku said was right, If it wasn't for his help just now, maybe they would have been captured by HYDRA. Thinking about it this way, Suku's identity really doesn't seem to be that important. Immediately afterwards, Suku continued, "This is my villa. I don't usually come here, so you can live here with confidence. Definitely, if you have anything to do, you can also contact me, and I will rush here as soon as possible." When Wanda heard this, she really wanted to refuse, but when she thought about the current situation of herself and her brother, she couldn't refuse. Because if they leave here, it will be a problem for them to survive. But Suku's place is a perfect sanctuary. So after a brief hesitation, she could only nod her head. Immediately afterwards, Suku thought of something again, and then took out a bank card from his pocket and handed it to Wanda. "There is some money in this card. You can spend it. Don't steal anything in the future." Although this was said to Wanda, it was clearly referring to Quicksilver. So when he heard this, Quicksilver's face turned red instantly. After placing Wanda and Quicksilver, Suku went straight back to the second floor, and it was already 10 o'clock in the evening. Originally, I wanted to say hello to Harley and then just find a place to sleep, but as soon as I came to the room, I heard the sound of Yusher's water. Clearly, Harley was in the shower. "Harley, take a shower and rest. We're heading back to Gotham tomorrow." Suku said hello and was about to leave. Etc. Suddenly at this moment, Harley's voice sounded. Immediately afterwards, the sound of running water disappeared. As the door of the Jade Room was pushed open, Suku saw Harley rushing out with his head covered in water and wrapped in a towel. Seeing Harley like this, Suku didn't know whether to watch it or not. Chapter 29. Jinping and his son Richard. But as a gentleman, Suku still said, "Harley, can you put on your clothes and talk?" In the past, Harley must have blushed at this moment, but now, Harley looked at Suku with unusual firmness. "Boss, do you like me or not?" asked Harley. "Definitely loved it," Suku said without thinking. Just kidding. How could he keep Harley around if he didn't like it? In the next second, Harley finally summoned up his courage. She loosened the jade robe casually, then put her arms around Suku's neck and kissed him. Although he was reborn as a demon, in the depths of his soul, Suku is still a normal man, so it only took 0.01 second for him to make his choice. After a lot of tossing, the two lay on the wound, their eyes met, and there was tenderness in Harley's eyes. While sliding her finger casually on Suku's chest, she asked, "Boss, who are you? To be honest, I always feel that you are really special." If before, Suku still wanted to hide his identity from Harley, it is completely unnecessary now. Because now Harley is his own woman. So Suku smiled and said, "What if I tell you that I'm not human, but a demon?" "Demon?" Harley was taken aback when she heard this, but the next second she smiled and said, "Then from today onwards, I will be the devil's woman." When Suku heard this, he immediately laughed. The four eyes met, and another big battle followed. Early the next morning, two special guests came at the door of the villa. Why do you say that the guests are special? Because one of the guests was really too big. I saw that he was more than 2 meters tall, and his body was full of tendons. His body was extremely exaggerated. He looked like a muscle monster. This man is none other than Yo Yu's underworld emperor, Jinping. King, whose real name is Wilson Grant Faith, is the largest gangster in New York and even the United States. Although he is only a human being, he is not ordinary at all. His mind is extremely careful. His intelligence far exceeds that of ordinary people, and more than 90% of his body is made of muscles. His strength is extremely amazing, and he can punch through a wall with his bare hands. And he was originally a top fighter in the world, even able to fight superheroes like Little Spider-Man, Punisher, and Daredevil. And
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.